Good Tuesday morning. It's the main event. I'm your humble host with way too loud of a kickback here to start this Tuesday show. Last show of 2025. And of course, I'm your humble host, Stephen McCollum, and you know him as 17-year NFL veteran, 3-time Super Bowl champion for your Dallas Cowboys. Dale Hillestrace here, everybody.
Good morning, Steven. How are you? I'm just looking at the weather forecast for El Paso, Texas.
49% chance of rain tomorrow.
Goodness gracious. I can't think of one place
that'd be miserable.
I'd rather be than sitting in the Sun Bowl.
Well, I got a ticket for you. I talked to Brooke. You guys are catching a Southwest flight in the morning. You're coming over and visiting us.
So we're not invited to White Sands?
You can come to that, too. It's afterwards. It's on the 1st. Weather permitting. Sand doesn't roll very well when it's wet. The rain, though, it did say the rain was going to come in late afternoon.
What time's the game?
Noon.
Okay.
Noon our time. So we might escape it. But you know what that means? A storm's coming in, which means wind's going to be there.
That means when you're walking out to your car, because there's very little parking there, you can be parked up the hill.
I know it's going to be ridiculous.
You might want to have them let you off by the gate.
I'm going to be limping. I might have a wheelchair, Dale. You never know. I milked this a little bit, get parked close. I remember last time I had the scooter, and it was a struggle to get the close parking with that stuff.
Yeah,
I had to go park in this lot far away and get in a van that brought me down to the thing.
Okay.
But all the parking next to the stadium, they're like, nope, gotta have a parking pass.
You gotta be special.
Yeah, and I'm like, I am special. I have a leg in a cast right
Don't
now.
you know who I am?
Yeah. So I survived jail yesterday. Uncle Lou's coming up in just a second here, guys. But I survived jail yesterday, or court yesterday. No jail for me. So I made it in today, Dale.
You weren't held in contempt?
I know. Prosecutor didn't even show up.
Ooh.
Yeah. So just go back in January.
So do you get to charge him or?
No. They don't care. They just waste your time. It's the justice system. They just don't care. We'll just waste everybody's time.
The judge was there, prosecutor wasn't.
Yeah. And this is about, just so everybody's clear, I don't want people to be like, oh my God, it's a rental issue of a tenant that did some stuff, and the city of Mesa got involved with it, and then they didn't do everything proper, and then I get dragged into it because of the homeowner.
So why don't you just say, did your lawyer not ask for just to waive everything?
Yeah, we submitted all the paperwork. We've submitted all the paperwork. That's under an LLC, so they technically aren't supposed to come after me. I'm not supposed to be involved in this. We submitted all that stuff, and the prosecutor have yet to answer. They responded to an email yesterday, and they said, well, yeah, we didn't serve him. Oh, well. And that's all they said. And then we show up, and they're like, oh, we'll just have to continue it, January 26th. Apparently, they're on vacation. Not good enough for me to be on vacation this week.
You had to stay here another day.
We would be on vacation right now.
You'd be in White Sands, New Mexico.
We would have done our trip the other way instead of the other way. So I survived that yesterday, but it's still rearing its ugly head coming up in January. Unless they look at it and they come to their senses and dismiss everything, at least on my side. They can go after the tenant all they want. That's his problem.
There's still a chance.
Get me out of it. Still a chance. I'm not home for you, everybody, yet on that and everything. But last show of the year here today, and we're packed as usual here on this Tuesday. Uncle Lou's coming up here in just a second. Then we got coming up Bruce Cooper coming in as well. We got bowl games to talk about. Arizona, of course, this weekend. ASU. Duke looks like they're playing most of their starters. ASU is not. Well, I'm sorry. We got a blue update. What'd you say? Out of the. I thought you said out of the shower. I was like, dang, really?
Yeah.
That might be an interesting show. Well, let's bring him on. If he's not in the screen right there, let's go ahead and bring him on and do it. Uncle Lou's joining us. Is he there? Is he out of the shot? Is he out of the shower?
Is he in the shower or out of the shower?
Lou's gonna be mad we just did this to him. He was like, they're bloviating too much. I'm going to leave.
He is out of the shower.
Oh, my God. He's all dressed up, too. Look at him. Last show of 2025, and he's got a button-down shirt on. Lou, what are you doing?
Well, I'm. First of all, I want to say hello, gentlemen. I hope everyone had a great holiday. We have another one coming, but it's searching for equal time.
Oh, that's what he went to get.
Oh, there
Yeah,
you
there you
go.
go. Yeah,
Let me just say that the teams that did decent play in the next day or so, but the teams that did really well play another week or so, and that's those U of A Wildcats going to face a team near and dear to one of our hearts, the
Yeah.
SMU Mustangs in a barn burner.
It's going to be a good game, Lou. I'm looking forward to it. Been getting a lot of pub. You can't watch Fox without looking at the Holiday Bowl coming up on January 2nd, so I'm looking forward to it.
Usually the Holiday Bowl rains points.
Yes.
Is that how this one should be, do you think?
Well, I you see in Arizona, they can score. I think SMU can score. Now it depends, and if you watched any of these bowl games, who's playing, who's opting out, who's transferring.
Well, I just said it. I mean, Duke reportedly is playing most of their starters on the Sun Bowl tomorrow.
Okay.
And ASU's has 20-something kids out
Yeah.
because of draft or transfer portal and stuff like that. So who's going to win this game? You have no idea coming into it.
I don't know how you bet it, and I don't know how you handicap it. That's what I tell my college football buddies, and they pull out their hair, and most of them, after one season of this, have hairlines like me.
Yeah, I know, right? So Lou was smart not getting on that college football bandwagon and chose Now, NFL's getting a little crazy, too, after last night, of course. We'll focus heavy on NFL today as the UFC's off until almost end of January here coming up. So, first of all, are you going through UFC relapses is my big question.
What?
Are you going through some relapses? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I'm being funny. No, I love this time off. This morning before I come on, I cleaned up my database. That's actually been about a week-long process, but I prepared it with 48 blank sheets for the upcoming season. So I'm all ready to go. And then probably starting this week here, I'll put some names down and get the first card ready. Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett. It's a Paramount card. There's all kinds of moving parts, but this is a great battery recharge so that I don't have to think about fighting for a few weeks, which is great because it is year round.
Yeah.
But it also allows me focus in on the NFL. And with week 18 coming up, I'm shooting at 4 or 5 games, guys. The other ones, I mean, if you can tell me who's motivated to play between, Washington and Philly,
yeah.
then you got to step up on me. There's
that's what I was telling Dale before the show. Dale's like, Dale's like talking, and I go, I don't even know how many games he's going to want to talk about, considering the Rams lost last night, and it changed a lot of the perspectives of the games this weekend. We actually lose some excitement this weekend because of the Rams losing.
Before
last
we get into football, I just want to ask you, Lou, is this something that happens every year in the UFC? Do they take this long of a break every year?
This is the longest one, and I think it has to do with segueing from ESPN to Paramount.
Okay.
Normally, it's 3 or 4 weeks, but years ago, they would have Christmas and even New Year's cards. I'm glad because I think of the UFC employees, even Dana, the travel they do and where they're going 12 months out of the year, to have 4 or 5 weeks off in a string. You almost have to have it, I think.
That brings up one more question. Does Dana, like those fights that are in Saudi Arabia or overseas, does Dana go to those too?
I would say that the numbered events and the overseas events for sure, because they expect the figurehead to be there.
He negotiates
maybe
and stuff,
a few of the Apex cards, or maybe a card in Omaha or Nashville that he may choose not to attend, but he goes to a good amount of them.
Okay.
I know, like Saudi Arabia, he always goes to, but that's because the Crown Prince wants to see him negotiate negotiate a bigger deal and stuff like that. Hey, before we do your intro, let's just wrap up UFC here. Aspinall, right? Got poked in the eye in that fight. Almost 2 months ago now, roughly? A month ago, 2 months ago? Crowd booed him, he kind of bowed out of that fight. And now it's being reported 2 eye surgeries or multiple eye surgeries he's going to need coming up here. And he's kind of been upset about this since then. Does that change your opinion on Aspinall at all? Now that the surgery's coming, or is it still kind of the same thoughts of when after that fight happened and the eye poke?
Easy for you to say.
I know.
Hey, Aspinall's a true champ. He didn't continue in that fight because he was gouged in both eyes, and the one that looked the worst was the least. It's the one that looked the least harmful that was the one that's done the most damage, and now it's resulting in eye surgery. Listen, I've said it before, I'll say it again. The gym in France, in Paris, that houses both Imavov and Gan, and that's Ferdinand Lopez. I'm not saying they are teaching their fighters to cheat. What I will say is that they're teaching their fighters to gain advantage. And if I could go out in a fight against a guy that I'm evenly competing against, and I could kick him in the jewels, and all they would do is say, no more doing that. You can't do that anymore. Then advantage me, because I'm going to kick him in the jewels, baby.
Right.
And that's what this gym does. Imavov, in every one of his fights in the first round, pokes guys in the eye. And now we watched Gan do it, and Gan's no stranger to doing it. It's tactful, they're taught it, and it has to get out of the game. You hear people ranting and raving about it. Yet the UFC, all they've come out is we've heard Herb Dean say, well, we're thinking about, being a little bit less patient with that kind of a deal. And in one of the fights, we saw him take a point away from a guy. So good. To me, I make the reaction drastic, and then I stop the issue on the dime, just like weight missing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting on the deal because he's been protesting since that happened on how he was treated unfairly, how bad this is for him, and now the eye surgery is just kind of like an eye opener.
Well,
all right, maybe obviously I'm assuming he's not faking it now, but I think there was some sentiment that he kind of bowed out of that fight a little bit early, like you said, and like you said, the one eye that was bad isn't the bad eye, and things like that. So I don't know if this comes around. What'd you say?
Uninformed sentiment.
Yes.
People that watch the fight, oh, he's ducking out, he's losing, he's ducking out. That is, you just ask any real fighter and they'll laugh you out of the room. And so I'm not gonna have to do it. It has to be changed. I think the next Aspinall Gan fight, hopefully it's soon, should be great. The one good bit of news for Gamblu.com UFC investors was a 5.3 unit win for us that Aspinall was still champ or is still champ January 1. We got 3 days before I can count.
I was going to say you got 2 days.
That said, I will say in the UFC this year, I have my numbers here somewhere. I was about a 15 unit loser over the course of the whole year. That doesn't happen very often, guys, and that's also part of the reason why I'm taking Gamblu public. In the About Business podcast will be available to all through my website and your local podcast carrier. And we're going to put myself on the spot, and we're going to have a great year this year, being totally transparent. Everybody can see the releases. There's the Gamblu webpage up that Kobe's been so gracious to show, and the top band really shows you everything you need to know about me if you're so inclined. The sports I work, what I do, what people say about me, at least my friends. I put testimonials in there that were mostly positive, I will say, but mostly what we try and highlight during this segment that Steve's so gracious to give me is the San Xavier mission in Tucson. It's the oldest mission in the United States. I have a page dedicated to the mission because we're regular contributors, as we will continue to be. You don't have to go through me to contribute. You can check out the information on the page, and there's a direct link on the lower side of the page that you can access the mission directly if you're so inclined. Steve and Dale are always so gracious to allow me to highlight that. It's really a gem of Arizona, and I'm really fortunate to be able to talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And, that's, like I said, it's you kind of lead the charge on that, at least when I listen to these other gambling sites and stuff to that, no, everybody else is just, give me the money and let me do it, and brings the money to me, or you win, and you break that out there. So I like that a lot about you, Lou. So hey,
Thank you.
last quick thing before we do, you just did your intro there. You're going public, like you said. When are you going to start? Obviously, first UFC fight. You'll start having the Bout Business, the Sneak Teep podcast free on your site, and all your releases on there as well. When's that approximately going to be starting?
Yeah, well, that first fight is like the 24th or 23rd.
something
So
like
it's
that.
the Monday, the 19th, the sneak teep will be out.
Yep.
Bout Business always will be available on a Friday. And so that'll be accessible wherever you get your pods, or just go to gamblu.com. Looking forward to all of that. And so we still a few more weeks. Now, here's the other thing. It's important to follow me on Twitter, because if I see a fight tomorrow that I really like the price on, normally I would send an email to members of the Bout Business podcast so they would get notified early. That will now be transported publicly via Twitter. So to follow me on Twitter, if you're a fight enthusiast, would not be a bad idea, because when I release something, if I release something in a few days, it'll go on Twitter public, and I'll have it dated and stamped and everything, so that there's no getting around it. And following me on Twitter may not be a bad idea. Good thing you're doing it this year and not last.
Two things. Are you going to talk more towards the layman on Twitter, or do I have to go to a translator to figure out exactly what you're saying again this year?
Well, if I'm doing a release, there'll be a guy's name in red with a price. And so you don't have to read all the gibberish if you don't want. But yeah, I speak in sometimes cryptic code, and you got to be a little bit of a linguist to get me.
And secondly, Christmas, did you get moved into the new house? Was dinner at the new house? Was it at the old house?
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
is that
you can see I'm in the new house now. We're out of, it's still all white, and I don't have any of my pictures up yet, but that's coming. I got the little things that you put in the drywall. I got stuff to do, but yes, we were able to on the 23rd last week. I think it was the 23rd when we were on with you, and I was hoping to get the C of O.
Yep.
We got the C of O. We started moving in. We were able to, even though I had to make the family codfish bacalhau on Christmas Eve out there, we ate it here, and it was great. And then had a big cauldron of the zugu, the pasta, the traditional pasta sauce here for Christmas Day, and everyone was here. It's man, I'm just so happy to be back. We're going through the punch list now. We got a few things that need to be addressed, but we're home. We're back in Central Phoenix, and I feel really good about it.
Good.
no more far West Valley
Yeah.
for you, right? Central Phoenix, but North Central Phoenix is kind of where you're at.
Yeah, I mean,
so.
I really don't go past 7th Ave unless I'm going to the MMA lab on 19th, on about 23rd Ave in Bell.
You're like Dale. Yeah, you're like Dale.
But
I don't
if
go
it's
that far.
bittersweet, though, now my wife travels from Central to go out to her place
Yeah.
of work. So she has the commute now, unfortunately. The good news is she leaves early in the morning going against traffic, and then coming back she's against. So that helps a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So the house smelled all fresh and new, and then you cooked all that stuff and got it all into the walls and started that process. I like it. You posted the picture a couple hours after the show, and I don't remember who it was, but a couple listeners, like, oh man, right off air to cooking. That's amazing. So
Hey, that's all I got, guys. I handicap games and I can cook. After that, I'm worthless, and my wife carries all the talent.
and then
That's the truth.
we would be remiss. You were talking about your Twitter page at Gamblu. For those of you that want to follow him on X as well, get on there and do that. And then your blog is up this week as well, talking about this week coming up, Week 18. And let's get into the NFL talk, Lou, here as well. Here, obviously when we come back here, we'll know the playoff setup. We'll know the first teams next week when we get you on your regular time on Thursday next week. Back to normal here after the holidays. But, we'll have some answers, but there's some things coming up here as well. You put out, and my question on this is, you put out on your blog a 3-team 10-point teaser on, obtained on DraftKings, minus 120 is what you say. When did you do this blog? Was it before last night's game, or was it? It was it after last night's game. The reason why I'm asking is you have Bucks 7.5, Vikings 3.5, and Bills 1.5 here. I know the Bucks still have to win to have a chance to move on, but their situation's changed a little bit and everything. I know you've released that. Nothing changes though with last night's Rams loss.
I released that yesterday morning, well before the game.
Mm-hmm.
And to my knowledge, there's not a sports book that'll allow me to contact them and change my plays after any of the games that I've picked have gone. Fortunately, none of the games I picked have gone. Has the situation for some of the teams changed because of last night? Perhaps. But really, what I tried to pick were games that I felt had integrity, and one is a partial cover. We understand that the Bills are locked in at 11 wins. If they beat the Jets, they're going to go to 12 and beat my season total.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I used the Bills as the last leg on a 225 game so that I can play into that and minimize loss if, in fact, they bomb the Jets. So I'll be able to take a little of the sting out of a 2-unit Bills wager by having 1 unit on the Bills plus 1.5. But we're going to have to earn the first 2 legs. First leg being Tampa plus 7.5 in their game against Carolina. And even though some of the dynamics have changed there, what hasn't changed is that the winner of this game really holds position.
Absolutely.
So I'm not really worried about that. And I really like the home team plus 7.5, despite the fact that the Bucks haven't won a game in almost 2 or 3 months. And then Minnesota plus the 3.5 against Green Bay. I'm anticipating Green Bay, because they're locked into the 7 and can't improve themselves. I got to think that we're gonna see a lot of second stringers and guys playing hard. But Minnesota hasn't lost in 3, 4, 5 games. And not only that we did a Minnesota over 8.5 early, and they're right at 8. They win this game and they're 6, 7, 7.5 point favorites right now. Then we stand in really good position to try and win that bet as well. So week 18 on the blog, I say hasten slowly. So go slow. You don't have to make your yearly bankroll this week. There's just a few games of integrity to bet. I only prepped 5 games via DVOA. One of them, Arizona and the Rams, only because I know we wanted to talk.
Absolutely, local team.
So Lou, do you think that my preseason bet of Cardinals over 6.5? Do you think I still have a chance?
Where are they? 5?
No, 3. 3. 3. Yeah, they haven't won on a Sunday. They haven't won on a Sunday since like September 15th or something like that. Their only win after September 15th or whatever that date is was the Cowboys on Monday Night Football about half.
6.5. I felt so good about that in August, Lou.
Yeah, so you weren't the only one, Dale. I will say this. So
I'm in the Falcons.
It's hard I've always really been challenged trying to figure out what quarterbacks will and what quarterbacks won't. And I don't give myself too much stress or grief over that, because these teams can't do it either. Look at what the Cardinals did. They picked the wrong quarterback at the beginning of the year. I think Brissett's the more capable leader, the more solid quarterback, and yet they went with Murray and money. And so what changes there? Murray could be somewhere else. We'll learn a lot about these teams in the offseason, but I think it might be difficult. The Cardinals they're just rolling in mud, man. Do they do something with the coach? You guys may know more than me, but it was surely a year where
we're trying, Lou. We're trying to get him fired.
Hey, Lou, the other thing we've never talked about before we get into your games, I've never heard your opinion on Brock Purdy. What are your thoughts on Brock Purdy and the 49ers?
I think Shanahan's the sharpest coach in the league. I think what he's done this year is wildly understated. For that team to be 1 win away from home field throughout with all the injuries they've had is really amazing. You got Fred Warner, the linebacker, that's going to come back for the playoffs. Somebody better watch out for San Francisco, even though they can't stop a sneeze. That offense clicks. I think Purdy's the man. He's been understated, overlooked, and appreciated his whole career, except by Shanahan. And if Shanny likes him, I love him. And so, to answer your question, I think Brock Purdy is it. And I think any success that San Francisco has will hinge on Purdy and that offense getting healthy around him at the right time, because the defense is a little bit of a, weakness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's when I was watching that game the other night. It was fantastic, but it was like scoring affair on both of those teams. So, well, let's get into it. Cardinals first. That's probably the game you least want to talk about here, but obviously being the local team, we talk about them. Cardinals Rams. Now things changed for the Rams. They lost last night. They obviously want to win going into the playoffs here coming up, but we might see some resting from them coming up here this weekend. Cardinals, we don't know what's going on with the coaching staff. You talk to Jonathan Gannon, and he thinks his job's safe. He doesn't think changes need to happen. A lot of that stuff coming up. Rams losing last night against the Falcons kind of hurts their chances to stay alive for a 1 seed here coming up this weekend. Right now, Rams are 7.5-point favorites. My personal feeling on this is Cardinals, they went up against the Bengals in a team that gave up 30.5 points on gave up 30.5 on average points a game, and the Cardinals could only score 14 against them.
And one of them was a throwaway.
Yeah, one of them was at the end of the game. I don't care if the third stringers from the Rams or they call up all their practice squad kids. Sean McVay is going to have the Cardinals number this weekend. The question is 7.5 too high or too low for me, Lou? I think it's too low, but you tell me.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, I'll be honest with you. How do you handicap the game?
That's what I'm getting
This
at.
was 14.5 a week ago, now 7.5. So the line tells you that the Rams are going to rest guys, and just look at McVay in the preseason. He never plays guys. They're locked into the 6.
Mm-hmm.
Why would they have any motivation to do anything outside to get some depth players, some reps, and get themselves ready to go? So, how do you monitor the motivation of one squad trying to protect themselves, yet go out there and give some guys some reps? And who's to say what's going on in Arizona? So, I mean, I can give you DVOA numbers. I can tell you Arizona's 30th in special teams, and the Rams are 26th.
Yeah.
26th in special teams for the Rams will be something that we'll talk about when the playoffs start.
They just fired their
But
special
the Rams,
teams coach.
number 1 offense and number 3 defense totally smokes the 25th ranked offense for Arizona and the 20th ranked defense for Arizona. 12 turnovers on the plus side for the Rams, dead even for Arizona. I don't know how. I've talked in circles long enough. I don't know how to bet it or what to advise.
It's a stay away game.
Yeah, that's why I brought it up. Yeah,
it's a run away game.
That's why we brought it up
Say
first.
this,
I didn't know the line moved.
Look at the
I didn't know the line moved a full 7 points. In this last week, that's an amazing movement. Like you said, that
and you've
signals
gone from 51.5 to 46 on the total.
Yeah.
So, what does that tell you? It tells me that if I bet that game, I'm really contrary to everything I've preached all 2-3 years I've been with you guys. You were shooting with a rifle. We're looking for advantage. I have no idea where the advantage is.
Right.
Yeah. And just because you brought up the Eagles earlier, this I'm assuming this isn't a game you want to talk about. Commanders Eagles. It's only funny because we were talking about the eye poke with Aspinall, and if you saw that game last week where Jalen Carter, hit the guy in the eye, the lineman in the eye, and did all that damage to him and everything. Robert chimes in and says, "Didn't Jalen Carter train at that same gym in France?" I just thought that was a funny line by Robert.
That is
there,
very
that
funny.
line.
Good one, Robert. And I think he did. We won't cite Ferdinand Lopez for that one. We'll have to cite his head coach. But hey, any way to get advantage. And I got to tell you something, and Dale, I'm sure you can substantiate this. Trying to poke another guy in the eye, you're going to just dislocate fingers and break fingers. That's stupid. Heads move. the helmet twists. You sticking your fingers out there, and some guys, you might get bit. I know there were a lot of ways to insult and irritate other players other than getting your fingers in their face mask.
Yes. I mean, again, there's an occasional accidental, somehow your finger got into a face mask, but you didn't want it in there. You did not want your fingers in a face mask because you're right. I mean, that's very easily, you snap your face mask. Yeah.
Well, the thing that amazes me is like I saw the offensive lineman. I'm forgetting his name right now. But that dude's a big dude. It's like I don't know if you want to piss that guy off. As an offensive lineman. He's like 6'8". He's like huge, and compared to Jalen Carter, and I was just like, all right, well, if you want to make that guy
strong,
angry,
young, athletic, and you saw what that eye poke did to him.
Yes.
It reduced him to a hurt player. Hey, the eyes are nothing to mess with.
So I just like that comment from Robert. But hey, Lou, I tell you what, let's do this. You tell us where you want to go today, because like you said, things have changed. Buccaneers still need a win to have a chance to win that division. But if they win, they could still lose the division based off of the Falcons-Saints game coming up here and everything. So I'm going to let you kind of guide us where you want to talk about this weekend and what you're looking at. Because like you said, there's just a lot of unknowns going into this weekend. Ravens-Steelers is a battle. Of course, that's still there. The NFC West, number 1 seeds on the line. Saturday night as well from that. So I imagine those are two and everything. Then you got, the Patriots. My question on the Patriots for you, let me ask you this first. They've only played one team that has a record above 500 that they've beat with their 13 wins. Is this a concern for the Patriots going into the playoffs? They haven't played a tough schedule this year.
They played everyone the NFL put in front of them. They earned their position. And in their locker room, they've done everything they needed to do to earn their position. All the noise outside want to make criticism for the Patriots because they haven't beat anyone. Those are people, to me, that want to make excuses and are listening to others and just repeating what they're hearing. I like Vrabel. I like that quarterback. I like the offense. I like where they are. I like that they got home field games. And I don't know how you discount New England unless or until they face Josh Allen or have to go on the road to Denver.
Perfect. Just that's a lot of noise around that schedule there going into this weekend. So in the playoffs.
Yeah, and that's great because it's going to help enhance New England's price for any that might be looking there. I'm not. We have, we recommended Denver in October, November, 14-1. We also got a future on the AFC for the Chargers. So Denver and the Chargers are two teams that I'm pretty interested in. And so we get back to the games that I want to cover. Yes. And so I'll start with Saturday, and then we'll go to me, it's the important games that are played and in order. So Saturday, 2:30, Carolina, Tampa. And listen, this is a playoff game. It doesn't matter that none of them can control what happens with New Orleans and whoever the hell New Orleans is playing. Is it
Atlanta Falcons?
Atlanta.
Yeah.
Atlanta. Okay, yeah. And so neither of those guys can dictate that. So Carolina, we know, is going to win because if they win, it doesn't matter what happens in New Orleans. Carolina's in. Mm-hmm. If Tampa wins, then they got to watch and play fan ball, and Carolina can back in. But to me, I prefer to think that this is a playoff game. I like the fact that it's standalone Saturday, so we can watch it. 3 and 43.5 were the openers for that game. And now if I look, I see a rogue 2.5.
Yeah, FanDuel's
actually,
3.
Your FanDuel's got 3, but DraftKings has 2.5, total 44.5. And in that total, so it's ticked up just a half. I look for points in the game. I think that Tampa's defense has eroded a little bit with the lack of continuity on their offense. And isn't that interesting that the Tampa offense has bogged down as one by one, Godwin, Bucky, Irving, all these fabulous offensive players have come back to them. And while those stars are coming back, they're spinning their wheels in oil offensively. That, I think, is reflective of the fact that they haven't got continuity, haven't been playing together the whole season. And so there's surely concerns with Tampa. And that's why I took them from 2.5 at the time and rolled them at home plus 7.5 in that teaser. I love the fact that I'm getting the 3, the 4, the 6, and the 7 in that teaser. And I look for a relatively competitive game, but a fun one to watch. I see that one as 31-29.
Really? Okay.
31-27, 30-25, something that feels like that.
Yeah, that actually is fine because I'm actually I was leaning the other way that this is going to be a low scoring kind of a game unless the Panthers go off. But you are correct. Last time they matched up, 23-20 ball game is what it ended up being with the Panthers' victory earlier this year. Just a
Hey, before
few
you go,
weeks ago.
before we go any further, is there one team this year that has shocked you, Lou, in a good way? Is it New England? You said you had Denver on that. What about Carolina? What about some of these teams that came out of the ashes?
Yeah, a great question. Yes, Carolina has shocked me. I surely didn't see that coming. I didn't see the ineptitude of Cincinnati, to be honest with you. I should have with the coach, but you got Burrow and everybody else back there. You'd think that they were going to be a scoring machine. Burrow goes down. That's injury related. Maybe a little surprised the Raiders didn't do a little bit better than they did. And if anything that I'm shocked by, I'll just say, I can't tell you how much I respect what Shanahan's done in San Francisco with the litany of injuries they've gone through. They're totally overlooked. They are playing for the number 1 seed. They've got great experience, a great offense, great coaching. Somebody better watch out for San Francisco. I'm telling you, weeks ago, screwing around, I think both Chicago and San Fran were 30-1 to win it all, and I put peanuts on each of them just because I've been so critical of Chicago. I couldn't let them win it without me collecting a little. And the San Francisco one, I think, was a salty position, and I can look their odds up now to win it all, and I would tell you that I think that they're going to be way shorter than 30-1.
Yeah.
I got to think they're probably 10. Here, I'll look at futures now.
They got to be second best odds behind Seattle at this point. One A and 1B, I should say, between Seattle and 49ers going into the playoffs, I would imagine. So.
Oh, I think you're imagining wrong. But let me see if I can find.
Well, while you're looking at, you look at San Francisco. They're missing their left tackle and one of the best tight ends in the league this past weekend. And they still put up 42 points. That's nuts.
Yeah, it's an offense that's rolling, and the tight end's going to be back. The tackle, I don't know, but Fred Warner will really help that defense emotionally when they come back. Okay, so to win the Super Bowl, 49ers are 850. That's a far cry now from 30-1. You got Seahawks at almost 5-1 plus 475, Rams plus 550, Denver plus 700, San Fran plus 850. And what I can't find right now is a line. Oh, here it is. Winning conference. NFC minus 130, AFC plus 110. That equates to probably a NFC minus 2.5. I would tell you right now, NFC minus 130 to win the Super Bowl is just an absolute laydown. I think the Super Bowl winner this year comes from the NFC.
And you said it's minus 130 right now is what you're seeing?
On DraftKings right
okay.
now, if you go to futures, go to winning conference, and you got NFC minus 130, AFC plus 110.
Ooh, could be another Denver loss in a Super Bowl, Dale.
Well, they won 2 in the late 90s.
They did.
Yeah.
But just harkens back to losing more than they are there as well. Speaking of that game, Seattle's 49er, that's a Saturday night game at 6 p.m. Talk to us about this one, Lou. Two teams, number one seed on the line here. Does my big thing on this is, does Sam Darnold do better than he did last year? Remember, he was in this position last year with the Vikings and went into, they went to Detroit, but they lost that game as well off of some turnovers by Sam Darnold. Did he learn something last year? Is he able to get it done this year and get that number one seed?
That dialogue, that position, that mind frame right there. I'm so tickled that you led me by the snout right into it, because I comprehensively disagree with it. Dale, pipe in when you want. But this guy Darnold is an elite quarterback talent for several reasons. He has shown himself to come up short in the big games, but each big game, he's getting closer and closer to his goal. Since that kid was in diapers and in little league huddles, he's wanted to win a Super Bowl, and it hasn't changed. The fact that he's been set back doesn't mean he's going to curl up and run or shy away from this opportunity. Rather, he's going to try and kick the door in with a team that, oh, by the way, has the 11th ranked offense in pro football, 5th passing, and that's Darnold, 5th passing.
Right.
And you got the number 1 ranked defense. They're playing San Francisco that has the number 2 ranked offense. So that's going to be really championship material, watching San Francisco try and navigate that great Seattle defense. But that Seattle offense, 5th ranked pass against the 26th ranked San Francisco defense. San Francisco is going to have to come up with some gimmicks. They're going to have to get a lead early. They're going to have to try and take advantage of a turnover to get an early lead to put pressure on Seattle, and therefore make Darnold maybe a little more predictable. I think this is a game that Seattle looks really good in. They show that they're prepared to play. They're going to go out there and get their job done, I believe, and then next week get themselves a bye by earning it.
Hey, Sam Darnold, by the way, over the last 2 seasons, I think he's 27-6. 27
in the NFL.
Yeah, in the NFL.
I mean,
Steve,
come on.
Steve, you go ahead and bury him.
And everybody wants to say what a choker he is and everything. Okay, go
Stats
ahead.
are there, fellas.
Bet
Stats are there.
That way. It's only going to create more opportunity the other way. I believe in guys like that. I mean, remember when Peyton Manning hadn't won one forever? They were saying the same kind. I'm not
eventually
putting
get over the
Darnold
hump, yeah.
on Peyton Manning level, no. But these are the kinds of soliloquies or the kinds of positions that I love to try and go oppo on.
It's -1.5 Seattle's favorites right now. Over unders 49.5 in this game. I think this might be a surprising low scoring game coming up here this weekend. Nerves maybe a little bit, like you said, a little defensive battle unless Seattle can expose that not very good Niners defense by your numbers there. But I could see this being kind of a low scoring affair with two division teams battling it out for the number 1 seed. Coming into that on that over under 49.5. Has that line changed at all this week?
Yeah, San Fran can't afford a low scoring game. If it's low scoring, I think it's all Seattle. I didn't have a total I have a total opener, but it was funny because this week they didn't do look aheads. They're smart. They knew what I've been preaching. They've known long ago. But that opener in that San Francisco game, give me a second and I'll find her here if I can find the game for us. Here we go. That opening total was 49.5, and that's right where she sits now. If anything, I do tend to agree with the under because I tend to think that Seattle it can get a lead and put pressure on San Francisco and make them predictable and make them play into the Seattle defense.
That's how I'm leaning that game's going to
Seattle
go as well. So, okay, perfect. So we're on the same page from that perspective. What's the next game you got on Sunday here? Now you have these battles. Did you look at the big game here? I mean, if if Tampa Bay wins Saints Falcons games, does it matter? Let me ask you this: does it matter if the Buccaneers or Panthers get into the playoffs? I mean, I don't see either one of them being a big threat here. But did you look at that Saints Falcons game at all? Now that it's changed for that because it could go into it. If not, skip it. What do you got next?
No, I didn't, but I'll comment on it. First of all, Atlanta's off this huge emotional game where they had to go to LA and win. Now they host a New Orleans team whose quarterback is in position for Rookie of the Year. I mean, that kid's I can't even remember his name, but he's playing better than
Local talent Tyler Shuck.
Yeah, he
Chuck. Yeah,
grew up here.
So, hey, and listen, I think New Orleans, dog meat as they've been, they've seen some success in these last handful of weeks, and I don't think that's a team that's quitting. And we've seen some inconsistency with Atlanta. I look at that number was Atlanta 2.5 and 43, and now we find that game.
I have it at 3 on FanDuel and 42.5.
3 and 43.5.
Oh, 43
so
and a half.
Atlanta has ticked up a little. I love that. I would even wait and see if the public believes in Atlanta enough to think they're going to beat New Orleans, because in a division game that's going to be low scoring, all defense between these two, not only do I lean to the under, I'd love to get New Orleans in 3.5.
And these two teams have not quit. They're not going to take Sunday off. They're going to play hard. They played hard all season. They played hard last week. So these aren't two teams eliminated that are going to mail it in and have the U-Haul sitting outside. They're coming into this game to win.
I'll tell you that with confidence after the game. I think Atlanta could put up a stinker.
No, really? Okay, really? Even after the last couple of weeks? Okay.
Coming off that big, huge win, now they're the other school of thought is they have momentum. They believe they're playing for their coach's job.
Yeah,
that goes for both sides. But you give me two teams that have played division ball for decades, and one team's on the road getting 3.5. It's hard for me not to take that.
Okay, perfect. So
Atlanta also has a guy, I forget his name, Bijan
Robinson, another Arizona talent coming out as well from them. Yeah, nice 93-yard touchdown last night on that. Lou, what's the next game that you got here for this weekend that you're eyeing going into the last week of the season?
Okay, so we talked about Carolina, Tampa, Seattle, San Fran. I think we got to talk a little bit. The big one's Baltimore, Pittsburgh,
yes.
But that's Sunday night, so we'll save that. The other one is the Chargers and the Broncos.
Yeah.
But since that game has been announced and lines have been set, and that was 8-39 to Denver, and now that is 12.5 and 37. Well, why would that move like that? Because the Chargers can't really better their position.
They're resting Herbert. They've announced
they're resting Herbert. They're
yeah.
resting guys. They're going to go out there and give it the good old college try. Meanwhile, Denver is going to play for everything.
Number one seed on the line.
And try and get that bye. So hard game to handicap, I suppose. If anything, you might look at Denver, given all those points, because you'd think he'd want to get some momentum, get that offense rolling, throw a bunch of points on the board, and then give them a week off while everybody tussles during the wild card round.
So how does that work? If Denver wins, they have the number one seed, or does it have to do with New England too?
No, Denver's the number one. Denver here.
If they win, they get the number one seed. Because I think they have the quote unquote tiebreakers over Patriots. That's what I was reading last night.
The Patriots have a 23% chance of winning the number one. So if Denver were to lose to a bunch of Charger backups, and the Patriots find a way to win in their game against whoever it is they're playing, I mean that's how much I haven't looked at this. You guys.
Well, they're playing. Their division's pretty bad there as well. But Bills have the Jets,
Miami?
so they got the Miami. Yes. Sorry.
Yeah, they're playing Miami. So who's to say? I think the Broncos are a good team. I think they've been somewhat overlooked all season long because of their quarterback. I do believe in the quarterback, especially the quarterback head coach relationship. And I think Denver's got a lot to play for to gain momentum. And so I think this is a good opportunity for Denver. Just hard to bet it when you're given that many points.
That's a big movement as well. Once they announce Herbert's out and and all the other Chargers starters are out as well. So is there any other game, or should we just go right into what I think is going to be a stinker of a Sunday night football game? But you try to sell me on Ravens Steelers here, Lou.
A stinker.
Yeah,
I mean, if both of these
two
teams
teams
were
are
3-12 and
Yeah.
playing on Sunday night, I think I would watch it. There's division hatred here. You don't need anything really artificial to create a rivalry here. Look ahead. Now, Baltimore wins, they're in. Pittsburgh wins, they're in.
Yep.
So we got a playoff game, open 3-42. Now I've seen it tick up. I can see some 3.5s at Circa and FanDuel.
Yeah.
At a number of places, Baltimore giving. And, with what I've seen recently from Baltimore and what I've seen recently from Pittsburgh, to me, this is the kind of a game Tomlin wins. This is the game he gets his troops motivated for. And let me look at my DVOA, and it's really balanced. Baltimore 11 special team, Pittsburgh 16 special team. Baltimore -2 on the turnover ratio, Pittsburgh +11. There's the red light. I'm going to tell you right now, and this ain't sticking my neck out, the team that wins the turnover battle is going to win this game. You can say that about every NFL game. It's just hard to predict who's getting the turnovers because that ball's shaped funny. Baltimore, 12th ranked offense. Baltimore, 15th ranked defense. Pittsburgh, 16th ranked offense, 11th ranked defense. Guys, this is a 19-17, 27-25, 31-29. This is a 2-point football game. Take the point.
Do you think that Baltimore will remember that they have number 22 in the backfield like they did this past week?
Or are they going to be 2 weeks ago?
They're going to have to, because they're not going to have number 8 in the backfield.
Okay.
Isn't that Lamar's number?
Yeah.
But this past week, it's all like, oh, who's this running back we have back
Well, the
here?
week before they benched him in the fourth quarter and didn't use him. So to me, that's the problem. And the problem with my game on this, and I'm skewered by this, I'll admit it, is I want John Harbaugh fired. They need a new coach in Ravensland. I felt that for a few years. I feel the same way about Steelers. I'm just not a Steelers fan, so I don't care what they do. So I do want the Steelers to win this. But I agree with you. Tomlin wins these games. Tomlin makes it to the playoffs. Tomlin loses in the first round of the playoffs over the last several years. And there's no reason to think that Tomlin's not going to draw something up this weekend with his coaching staff and do what we expect him to do all the time with that Ravens offense the way it is. So I do like the Steelers in this game, and the numbers. I'm actually surprised that it favors the Ravens.
Pittsburgh's defense against the run is now 11, and early in the season via DVOA, they're in the 25s and 26s. So that team has evolved, and it's evolved towards Tomlin's personality. He gets them ready to play tough, physical, December-style football. And again, at 3.5 in division hatred, and without Lamar, I think Pittsburgh's got an awful lot to play for.
Yeah, and I mean, you said when you were ringing up those scores, you got into the 30. I was like, whoa, settle down. This is going to be like a 12-10 ball game, 12-9 type of a ball game.
I wonder what the weather's going to be like in Pittsburgh.
Is there any weather this weekend?
We don't have terrible weather this week, which is really disappointing for me. The only game I found some weather on was a total, and I took it. I'm trying to think which game was. Let's see. Here's NFL weather, guys. So really, there is no wind anywhere all weekend. A little bit of chance of snow in New England, Philly chance of rain, 35, but it's the wind that I need, and I'm not getting any wind, and so that really doesn't do a lot for me. Pittsburgh's going to be 28 degrees, slight chance of snow with a 3-mile-an-hour wind. These two teams, they'll be out there in jock straps and T-shirts. That weather ain't going to affect them a lick.
Hey, by the way, do you want to give some kudos to your beloved Chicago Bears? You might be going back to a Super Bowl.
Well, if they do, I'm going to get paid. But I'm not a phony. I didn't see it coming. It's hugely turnover related. But you know what? When somebody says that to me, I show them a picture of the scoreboard. Hey, their record is what their record is. They've earned themselves this opportunity, and it should be interesting to see what happens. in playoffs. I
They're-
can't see them making it through.
They're winning
but
games late though
funnier
too.
things have happened.
That's what's been impressive is, yeah, you can blame the turnovers, but they've won games late. They had a chance the other night to win that game late, and they didn't convert it. They've converted other times. I think that just sets you up for the playoffs. Those types of teams that can win those late games and not be worried being down late in the game are kind of scary come playoff time. The matchups are going to be what's interesting. But don't sleep on those Bears if they get favorable matchups coming up here. They'll win it late.
Yeah, for me, a Ram, a Seattle.
That's the problem. You got to play one of those
the-
teams. Yes.
What teams with really top 5 defenses is a Denver. That's kind of where I think I'm going to gravitate. It's going to be more difficult for me to hang my hat in first, second, third round of playoffs on a San Francisco or on a team even like New England, where the defense hasn't quite been what the offense has been this year.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating to see on that side. Lou, anything else? Last show of 2025. You'll join us next week, of course, back on the regular time here with the holidays all gone. Anything you want to add before we end this show, or with you at least?
Here's a little future bet that has nothing to do with the NFL, but I'm going to give it out because I gave it out a few days ago on the VSiN channel. I love the bet. It's a future bet, and the first leg of the bet is Japan to win the World Baseball Classic. Now, that's an event starts in March. You can get this at DraftKings. Currently, Japan is 300 plus 300. They will be in the finals. So I'm going to use Japan as one leg of the parlay, and I'm going to go into the UFC. I'm going to go to the futures tab. I'm at DraftKings. UFC futures. Scroll down. Who will be the welterweight champion in the UFC 12/31/26, meaning December 31st, a year from now? Islam Makhachev is minus 200. So you take minus 200 and you put it in a parlay with that plus 300, you get yourself a smooth little 5-1. And I can't tell you how much I like that bet.
So you have to sit on that money, for a full year, but it might be worth it at the end, right?
It will be worth it at the end. And you'll know, I mean, you're going to know if you're alive, at the end of April with the World Baseball Classic.
Absolutely.
Wow.
So I get too little piqued interest there as well.
A lot of
for
time
that.
on Uncle Lou's hands, that's for sure.
Uncle Lou's in the laboratory coming up with angles to share.
Lou, go enjoy your New Year's holiday. We'll see you next Thursday. Get that house all up and running here now that you're fully into it and move back into it and everything. And we'll see you next Thursday, of course, here on the main event.
Thursday 9 in the studio.
Yes, sir.
Happy
back
New
to
Year.
normal. Yep. Absolutely.
Happy New Year, guys. Thanks for having me. I love being on the show. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see you next week. Have a great holiday and everything. And we'll be talking playoff football next time and see if the Wildcats beat SMU. We'll see how upset Dale gets on this one.
We're going to beat them like a drum.
Bruce, for everybody else, Bruce Cooper is coming up next to join us. We got a lot to talk about there, so come on back. It's the main event. And we're back here, second hour main event. On Tuesdays means the local legend, as we know him around here, Bruce Cooper, joins us. Last show of 2025. And Coop, you made the show better this year on Tuesdays.
Really?
For 2025.
Really? That's debatable. Dale doesn't believe that. But I tell you what, isn't that something? The last Tuesday of 2025. Hey, happy early New Year's to both of you guys. My goodness.
Now, Coop, the question is, somebody of your stature and age, do you see midnight Arizona time?
Well, you know what? Unfortunately, since I have stepped away from the business, the wife has me going to some annual New Year's Eve party with her friends. And so, I mean, it's been really cold the last. I mean, they have it out in a big patio out in back, and I mean, they have the little burners going. But I mean, it's been really cold.
I know. Don't you wish you had a job still?
I really do. I mean, I don't really know.
I can send you somewhere. I can send you somewhere. I'm out of town. I can be like, Coop, I need you to fill in for me. Get you over there if you want.
Yeah, and here's the deal. I'm not a big drinker. Everyone there is, and my wife, she loves it that I go because now she knows that I'll safely drive home. She has a ride home. But
not those expensive Ubers, right?
I mean, it's not something that I really look forward to, but I know it's something you have to do.
Oh yeah.
Dale's going to be asleep by 6:30.
Actually, we're going to see Frank Caliendo on New Year's
Really?
Eve. He's at the Tempe Improv.
Yeah, ask Dale how we got those tickets, Bruce.
Yeah, Dale, how did you get those tickets? You win another bet?
No. It's who you know, Coop. You know this. It's who you know, not what you know.
That's right. And his shows are early. Are you going to the early show?
Yeah, 6 o'clock.
But even the second one's an early show because he doesn't want people in the improv because they don't pay attention. I saw Billy Idol one time in Vegas on New Year's. Got free tickets. We were in Vegas for it and got free tickets and went. Nobody cared Billy Idol was singing about 11:50. Yeah. It was all about New Year's at that point.
Yeah.
It's like you just stop paying attention.
Yeah, Dale gets wild out on New Year's Eve out here. I mean,
Tempe, watch out.
He's popping the chocolate milk and everything. Yeah. I mean,
Tempe, watch out. Coming up here.
No, we'll be way past home by then.
I'll either be in El Paso, Texas, or Las Cruces, New Mexico. See what's happening over there.
So you're going to the ASU game at Sunbow with Duke, huh? How about that?
Well, I thought it might be Kenny Dillingham's last game, so I figured I'd check it out.
Well, I tell you what, I hope Cam Dyer gets a little bit more playing time.
They've said I've got it on good authority. They have plays set up for Cam Dyer to get in there.
Yeah, and another thing too that I really was happy to see. Jake Fetty, local kid practicing there. Yeah, he got to practice.
From El Paso, local kid. Yeah.
Right.
They got him practicing, no number because he's not technically on the team and everything, but he's been practicing, which makes it weird. And then you got the transfer portal coming up. They're going to get a decent named kid from the Dryer's waiting. He's coming over, 2-year commitment to ASU now, and he's finally able to graduate and get over to the program. And then you go get a kid in the transfer portal. Is this a smart move to do, or do you roll it with the young kids?
Well, here's the deal. How do you know for sure that Sam Levitt is leaving?
I mean, we talked about this yesterday.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Everybody else that's either going pro or in the transfer portal is in El Paso practicing or being there watching the practices. Jordan Tyson. One of the guys, I forget who it is, but one of them, Yabney. Well, one of them had surgery, so he wasn't there over the weekend, but he's going. He's there now. One guy's missing.
Levitt.
He's upset about something. He's totally disassociated himself with this.
So, Coop, here's it's my theory that, and again, but whether Steve can tell you whether he believes it or not, that Dillingham and Sam Levitt got together a couple hours before that football banquet. And I'm not so sure that Levitt didn't say, I'd like to come back. I'd like to come back. We're seeing out there that maybe it's not as green as we thought it was going to be in more ways than one. I'd like to come back. And Dillingham said, no, we've already planned for you to move on.
No.
You don't think so?
I don't think that either, but I think a possibility could be was Sam Levitt's team went, all right, we have this deal for $2 million a year, $2.5 million a year. We want $4 million. We want $5 million. And then ASU said no.
Well, no, I think you're both wrong, but I think it's not bad to think that way. But here's what I really truly believe. I think that Sam and his brother particularly,
It's his agent.
yeah. Good. I'm glad you mentioned that because I certainly forgot to mention that.
He's his agent.
Yeah. He's shopping for dollar sign.
Mm-hmm.
That's his brother. That's what his brother's doing. And this next year, 2026 football season is huge. It's critical for Sam Levitt to reestablish himself as a top-tier quarterback because that's what he was coming in until the season unfolded.
Right.
Now, is he thinking to himself, I'm going to a place unfamiliar to me, a place where I have to relearn a completely different offense, get acclimated with completely different teammates and coaching
And
staff.
coaches.
Right. And now, but if I stay and I come back, I may not get that $4 million, but ASU, based on what Dillingham was able to, procure from the ASU administration in terms of more money for his coaching staff. I think there'll be a little bit more NIL numbers, some money. So now Levitt, who you said was looking at 2.5 and the offer was 4, now maybe it's 3.25. And that's enough based on him saying, okay, I got that plus the familiarity that I have with coaches, players, things like and system. I'm coming back.
Can you bring back a kid though that's totally distanced
Well,
himself from the program?
look. You can make the argument that it's tougher for him to get around with his foot injury. He doesn't want to pedal everywhere he goes.
You could. I understand.
You can make that argument.
He's got to be walking by now, doesn't he?
I have no idea. I don't know the depth of his.
Well, nobody knows
injury.
what his injury was.
Yeah.
It's a
right?
sprained ankle playing basketball. Coach.
Well, let's put it like this. Whatever it was, it required surgery. That much we know.
I just know that the way that ASU was talking about, they started about Sam Levitt. Everybody said it from Rossini to coaching staff. They kept saying first thing they'd say is it's not about money. He's not leaving about money, and then they say, well, what's he leaving for? Oh, we don't want to talk about it. And then the rumors came out, and the reports were, and they came from his people, that, we don't think we can protect Sam. And so we want to go to a program where he can be protected and stuff like that. But the way Sam plays is the reason he got hurt.
Yeah. Well, here's the deal. No matter where you go, there's going to be an offensive line in front of you, and there's going to be a defensive line in front of that offensive line, and there's going to be coordinators who are going to send corner blitzes.
Do you watch Alabama? Do you watch Georgia? Those quarterbacks get hit all the time,
and so
they have good offensive line.
Yeah, and so you're not going. So my whole point in saying all that is that your quarterbacks are going to get hit. That comes with the territory. That comes with the position.
Right.
And so it can't guarantee that, but I guarantee you this: Arizona State knows that it has to go out and find some new offensive linemen because I think they're losing all their seniors off that offensive line.
And they got that. Well, some of their young kids got playing time this year because Ben Coleman's replacement was a freshman. Yeah, but then they went out and they got that 6'8" guy that was committed to Georgia, got him to switch, and stuff to that effect. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see on the Levitt situation. I think
he'll be back. I really
do.
I would really be surprised if he does
all of that talk.
If he does leave.
Really?
I would be.
Well, then, why wouldn't you be around your team though? And I don't
Well,
care about the mobility part. You figure out a way.
Well, I just think that could be easily said because look, Sam has already established a relationship with his teammates. So whatever it is, it's not with his teammates because they're a brotherhood.
No, they've already
point. They've already talked about it.
It's coaching staff or something.
So whether Sam wants to just sit back and relax and not be a distraction or whatever the case may be, or maybe he just doesn't want to answer any questions out there about his availability, so he doesn't want to hang out in front of our media that will be at the practices. So whatever it is. I don't
the
think
media is not talking to Jordan Tyson or Abney or Rouser, who is practicing and going to play, even though he declared for the draft.
Their names
can avoid that.
Their names are not Sam Levitt.
You can avoid.
They aren't
avoid
Sam
that.
Levitt. There's a big difference. Sam's going to draw that crowd.
So, Coop, tell me this: next year, opening day, is Kyler Murray and Sam Levitt in the Valley? Is one of them in the Valley? Is none of them in the Valley?
I'd like to see both of them in the Valley, but I think there's a greater chance that Levitt is than there is Kyler.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, and here's the deal. I would love to see Kyler Murray back with the Cardinals because I think he gives them the best chance to win, not Jacoby Brissett. If you just watched the Monday night game, or was it Sunday night game? The Sunday night game between the 49ers and the Bears, you'll know why I'm a big Kyler Murray fan. I'm talking about the dual threat quarterback.
Yeah.
Did you see our local legend, Brock Purdy?
Yeah.
I mean, he ran for 2 scores, and then he looked like Kyler Murray when he rolled out, flushed out of the pocket, and he evaded 2 rushers and threw a touchdown pass.
But you know what the difference is? Brock Purdy stands in the pocket and throws it. Kyler Murray gets the ball and looks to run.
And then you look at Caleb Williams on the other side.
Yeah.
Here's a guy that the renaissance of the Bears is due in large part not to Williams' arm, because he's been phenomenal throwing the ball, but his legs. He has done so. And so I look at Jacoby Brissett. He is not going to be able to make those types of plays, those game-changing, game-winning plays, to keep a drive alive in the fourth quarter of a key drive. I mean, and so that's why if you can bring me in a quarterback that is a dual threat quarterback that can replace Kyler Murray, okay, I'm not going to argue that. But if you can't, and I just don't see anyone out there in free agency, I'm not enamored with anyone in this draft. The quarterback I like the best in this draft really is Ty Simpson of Alabama. I mean, he has the matter of fact. He reminds me more of a Brock Purdy. He can extend plays with his feet. He can stand tall in the pocket. I mean, do these things. But
when was the last time an Alabama quarterback did anything in the pros?
You know what? I don't even worry about that. I don't worry about that because it's the individual and not the school.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
It's
like Ohio State running backs.
well, again, it's
They
the
get to the
individual.
pros and you go, where are they?
Well, let's put it to you like this: I didn't see Tre'Davion Henderson doing too badly, or Quinshon Judkins doing too badly.
I was waiting for the Jenkins.
I didn't see those guys do too badly, but you flip the coin. Ohio State wide receiver seemed to do.
Yeah, I mean
do a
Marvin
trick.
Harrison right up there, right?
Yeah, well, we don't want to go that far just yet. But I will say this, that I do believe that for the Cardinals to be successful, because we've already seen that it's not the quarterback. Because Jacoby Brissett, who everyone says the offense looks better with, when him on the center, 1 win, 10 losses.
Yeah, they still can't score.
They can't, and so the bottom line is you're going to make your quarterback better by giving him, oh my gosh, I don't know, some playmakers. I mean, did we see my boy Bijan Robinson last night? I mean, come on. Look. I'm not going to get into all that, but I mean, the Cardinals are devoid of anyone like that.
If you don't know, he wanted Bijan on the Cardinals in the draft. That's what he's
Absolutely.
alluding to.
And so, but it's just the Cardinals have nothing like that.
Okay, but tell me this: how about looking at the coaching? Because I'm watching this San Francisco team, Coop, on Sunday night, and Brock Purdy. I've always kind of thought he was special. Did I think he's going to be this special in the NFL?
Well,
probably not. But you're down your all-world left tackle. You're down your top 3-4 tight end in the league.
Yeah.
You've already lost your all-world middle linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
You've lost your defensive end, who probably is averaging 12.5, 13 sacks a year. And yet here they are fighting for the number 1 seed.
Here's the bigger point. Other than Christian McCaffrey, tell me which skill player is a playmaker on the Niners. Because you bring up you need playmakers. Other than Christian McCaffrey, who I understand is a
Ricky
big part
Pearsall.
of it. Okay, so a young kid that you draft later than number 4, it's not about personnel and playmakers. You can survive with not giant playmakers out there. They just have to be able to catch the football, and you got to dial the plays up properly. That's what Shanahan and that offense does for the Niners. That's not what the Cardinals do with their people.
Well, let's keep in mind before.
Look how wide open those receivers were for the Niners. Have you ever seen a receiver that get that wide open for the Cardinals?
Hey, who were they playing last night?
No,
I mean, who were they playing Sunday? Okay. Yeah. No, but my point is, Mac.
But hold on. Arizona was playing Cincinnati.
My point is,
who gives up 30 points a game?
Mac Jones.
Yeah.
Was in at quarterback for the better part of the season,
And played
and
well.
there are a lot of people that are saying, Hey, we don't need Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mac
you
Jones
know,
played it well.
yeah.
But that
And-
comes to coaching.
But exactly. And so I'm getting to my point is that I don't understand why this new buzz out there is that the Cardinals would keep Jonathan Gannon.
Yeah.
I don't understand that at all. But to your point
It's
again,
being fed to
I
these
mean,
media people. It has to be. It's being fed. It was fed to Daryl Johnston on Sunday. It was fed to the national guys. It's fed to everybody right now that Jonathan Gannon's safe. They're feeding it to him.
Yeah. But
Let me
I'm going to
interrupt
go
you.
back to the 49ers because you talked about the playmakers. Do you know? Guess who their leading rusher is? Christian McCaffrey. I'm going to ask you this question. Do you know who their leading receiver is?
Christian McCaffrey.
Point exactly.
Yeah.
Point
That's
exactly.
what I'm saying. That's why I say take him away because
Well,
obviously
if you
it's
take him
special
away,
talent.
then the 49ers aren't going to do what they're doing right now.
Well, that's the point, though. So,
The Cardinals are devoid of anyone like that, is my point.
so,
Well,
so find
that
a
is
Christian
true.
McCaffrey. Done.
Well, no,
Yeah.
Simple. We can do that.
no. There are other running backs out there that are weapons both running and catching the ball. And we saw one last night in Bijan Robinson. There's one up in Detroit.
I'm not saying you
named
don't need
Jameer.
playmakers. I'm saying a good coach puts no name like Purcell. You know, he's going to turn out to be a good receiver in this league.
Yeah, Ricky
if he can-
Pearsall's a good
If he
player.
can stay healthy, but he's not Ayuk. He's not Marvin Harrison's expectation level.
He's
coming
not
into this.
Debo. He's not Debo
He's
Samuel.
not that level. And look what he does. Look how open he is, and he catches the ball and
But
tough
by the
But
way-
positions
they
and-
have somebody named Kerry Kittle as well,
Yes.
who draws a lot of attention. But yeah, look.
So tell me this. That's not Terry Kittle.
I mean, George.
Yeah, George Kittle. Terry played basketball, didn't he?
He did. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
Did you know Brandon Ayuk when he's at ASU?
I did.
Good guy, bad guy,
No,
okay guy?
He was gregarious, always smile on his face.
Okay.
Yeah, I found him a joy to talk to, but yeah, he was a happy-go-lucky, smiley guy.
That surprises me.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't come off that way, does he?
No. Well, do you hear him say much? As
No,
a
no,
pro?
no. But that's what I mean.
It's
an ego. I think his ego is too big, or he's being fed wrong information.
It's either his agent is,
That's what I'm getting
or he has gotten a little money hungry. He wasn't like that in college.
Because I mean, when
Okay,
he
I'm just
signed
curious.
that deal with the Niners, remember all that stuff they went through? Then they finally re-signed him.
Yeah.
And he's doing the same stuff after they signed him. It's like you obviously didn't want to be there.
Yeah,
So why did you
I-
even sign the deal?
yeah,
You could have forced
yeah,
your way out or whatever.
yeah,
It's just weird, and there's either somebody in his ear or
But yet,
like you said, something is said.
the only reason I bring that up is because even through that, even through the injuries, even through all the nonsense, here they are playing for home field
Yeah.
advantage on Sunday.
Yeah,
Or Saturday,
and isn't it something that the 49ers, as you mentioned, they actually have receivers who catch the ball. I don't care if it's Jawan Jennings
and
has
they get open,
just
too.
Jawan Jennings has just been a revelation.
Yeah.
I mean,
But even look what Ben Johnson's done with the Bears this year, right? Coming from the corner, the Lions took 9. I expected the Lions to take a couple steps back. They took like 9 steps back.
here's the deal: there are coaches who can bring out confidence in a player.
Yeah.
Without confidence, you're not going to go
Yeah.
forward.
No,
And I hate to make this segue, but but because I'm gonna make the segue into this right here. We see that with the Phoenix Suns. There was a guy named
You're
Jordan
right.
Goodwin who came over in the trade with Bradley Beal, played for some guy named Mike Budenholzer, and Goodwin sat on the bench,
Yep.
didn't do a darn thing. Same Jordan Goodwin back for a second run in Phoenix, but he has a new coach in Jordan Ott. Ott believes in this kid. He has fueled his confidence. Even some guy named Jamari Bouye.
Yeah.
I mean, no-name guys that are just
Well, hold
lurching
on,
down
Coop.
in the G League.
Is there any bigger example of that than some little white guy named Colin Gillespie?
There you go.
Come on now.
That's Dale, very good point.
I'll
Very good
add
point.
Steve Dunn into
Very good point.
I'd add Dunn into that as well.
Very good point.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
because of last year, what he went through last year with playing, getting benched, playing.
So yes, coaching makes a difference. Ben Johnson has obviously pushed the right button with Caleb Williams. Has Caleb feeling like he's back at USC or back at Oklahoma before he went to USC? You know, he's playing like he's confident he can do and play with all the freedom, the confidence in the world. Before, you know, that confidence wasn't there, and it showed on the field.
And let me tell you, because I've always said this. I remember in the 7 seconds or less when Mike D'Antoni was coaching.
I love those era. Don't take me back there.
And what I loved about Mike D'Antoni is talking to some of the players back in the day and listening to him talk. He would never take you out for missing a shot.
He would take you out if you didn't take
He
it.
would take you out if you didn't take the shot.
I've had a lot of interviews with Mike D'Antoni over the years, and absolutely. I mean, there was a, gosh, I'm losing his name. He's a guy that clotheslined Kobe.
Rajah Bell
Rajah Bell.
Yeah.
Okay, so check out.
with his giant diamond earrings on the court always made me laugh.
So Rajah was always noted as a defensive savant, if you will.
Yeah.
Never off. But he became a prolific three-point shooter with Phoenix. So we asked him, hey, man, how much did you really work on your game? He said, no, I've always been there. But, Mike D'Antoni is the first guy that ever believed in me. He told me that if I didn't take the shots, I'd be sitting on the bench, to your point.
Yeah.
So,
And again, you play basketball, I play basketball. If you're worried, and it goes to football too, if you're worried if you screw up, you're going to be on the bench.
Looking over your shoulder.
Yeah, you're going to be on the bench versus I don't care if you screw up.
Yeah.
Take a shot.
Yeah.
It's the mindset is
Sure.
a terrible thing to waste.
Sure. Yeah. Look. I as a guy who didn't play professionally but did play sports, I can tell you about confidence. If I have confidence and I have the freedom to go do things, I play completely different than if I don't.
Yeah.
And so it's no different from. I'm not trying to compare myself to any profession. I don't want to get that straight out there right now. I've never professional, but
I do it all the time. You can do it,
but
Coop. It's all
I'm
good.
relating to the issue of confidence. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter if you're a pro, an amateur, or whatever. Confidence brings out the best in me.
I mean, imagine if that first shot went in that last game you played at Westwood.
Dale, don't bring that up, Dale. Don't bring that up, Dale. Don't bring that up, Dale.
I mean, like they were talking on the broadcast about the Bears. Go ahead. If you have to come back, go ahead. Go ahead.
I needed to see that shot go in.
Yeah, you did.
I'll let you get the last word on that. But they're talking on the broadcast about the Bears, and I hearken everything to like the car. Like I'm watching that game, just like it doesn't matter. This coaching staff shouldn't come back for the Cardinals. Forget about all the other stuff just because they're not anywhere near the level of Ben Johnson or any of the coaches that we watched in that game, or even in that the Bills come back over the Eagles. Those are questionable. Those are good coaches, McDermott and the guy in Philly, but they have their problems. But they push the right buttons. But then they were saying in the broadcast, Bears in training camp, Ben Johnson was sending calls into Caleb Williams, and Caleb Williams would be like, "Hey, repeat that," and he'd be like, "No, figure it out."
Yeah.
And he literally put him in uncomfortable situations during camp to where when the game started, Caleb Williams no longer had questions. He had to figure it out in camp, so he figured it out. He knows where the position was. You hear those stories on these good teams when teams improve. You're not hearing any of that here, or anything to that effect. And that's where it's like, what is going on here and everything when you compare the two. And so, like I said, take away everything you know about the Cardinals coaching staff, everything. Just watch a competitive football game this weekend or last weekend. And tell me that the Cardinals are anywhere close to that level. I said it last year and some of that stuff. It's just you're missing a lot going into that. And
You really are. I mean, like Dale makes a great point. I mean, I thought I was going to see a high scoring game in Cincinnati because
Right.
you got two horrible defenses there.
30 and a half points per game they give up.
And the Bengals had their best points against. I mean,
14 because of a late one. But then the Cardinals I gave the first half things. It was like punt.
Yeah, three and out,
Bengals
three and
were.
out.
So they had a 12-play drive for 16 yards at one point.
The Cardinals did.
Cardinals did.
That's hard to
12
do,
plays,
Coop.
16 yards.
That's hard to do.
Yeah, man. It's just disheartening to even think about the possibility of Gannon and his staff returning.
Yeah.
I mean, I know our fans out there, our listeners, our viewers, they've seen the numbers.
Yeah.
They've seen what Gannon's record is, not only overall, but within the division.
They were 6-4 last year
yeah,
at one point,
yeah,
and they've lost 5. They won 5 games since.
Yeah, and so when you look at the fact that the NFC West is going to have a division winner and 2 wild cards in there, and those guys are coming back next year
With 12 wins, no less.
Yeah. I'm not feeling Jonathan Gannon coming
But
back.
can you now? It worked in Dallas one time, but can you tell Jonathan Gannon you got to replace your coordinators and the guys under you? We'll bring you back.
Well, believe it or not, I was and I don't know if you had the clips or anything like this.
I got 4 of them
'cause I
ready to go. Coop.
I was reading something online where Gannon was talking about change. He was actually, I said, oh, Mr. McCullum's going to fall over and faint.
Yeah. Oh no.
He
I had a court thing yesterday, and a good thing I had just a continuance because I was angry going into that thing, watching that press conference on the way. I would have told that judge where to go because of Jonathan Gannon yesterday. What about the one where he talked about why he didn't make changes?
Well, I thought he said that the changes are inevitable.
Oh
He's
yeah,
gonna-
he
he's
did.
gonna make
He
changes.
said that. Yeah. Yeah. But here's the more important on that same context. So
Okay.
what you're talking about is he goes changes are coming because of the
Yeah.
season we had,
Right.
but it's coming in the off season. What he was saying in that clip, and I got
He
this
wasn't
clip.
talking about his coaching staff?
Yeah, Gannon on why there's Gannon on why there are no changes is the clip I'm about to call here, guys. Just heads up. So in that conversation, he says changes are coming because of the season we had,
Yeah.
but we're not going to look at it till the off season.
Okay, there's only one
So-
game left. So okay,
Yeah.
I get it.
So then somebody asked him, and I don't know who it was, said, "Well, why are there no changes during the season?" Here's Jonathan Gannon's answer.
Ooh.
Before the season got out of hand?
No,
Why not?
because I thought that was the best thing to do for the team.
Why did you make changes during the season? If you didn't hear the question, no, it wasn't the best thing for the team.
Coop, all you got to do is look about 6 hours west. The Rams are going to the playoffs,
And they made the changes.
and they fired a special
They're
teams
20
coach.
And then,
something
and
in
then their
special
special teams comes up with a big
Yeah.
Yes.
field goal
Yeah.
block. Verse takes it to the house. Yeah.
It just you change things. And then you're sitting there watching the game on Sunday night, and Christian McCaffrey after the game, they're talking about it. The broadcasters are talking about Shanahan. Then after the game, Christian McCaffrey goes, every week we go into the week, and it's a brand new. We don't just implement a playbook in the beginning of the year and then we just make changes to it. Every week we have a different system that we have to learn going into the game and what we deal with. You make changes when you win in the NFL. You make changes when you lose. Any business. Right now, if you're running your own business, if you're an employee, you're making changes based off of what happened to you. You didn't get that sale yesterday, or that guy didn't return your phone call. You're tweaking a couple things today and trying again. And Jonathan Gannon continues to say no changes because it was for the good of the team.
I can think of 3 teams in the history of the NFL that didn't need to make any changes during the season. Undefeated Dolphins in 72, Chicago Bears in 85, and the New England Patriots that got to the Super Bowl undefeated.
You don't think they made any changes?
No,
since-
they did,
Okay.
but it's tweaks. And,
Yeah,
and,
tweaks.
and the
Yeah,
Cowboys,
it's not wholesale
we
changes,
would
yeah.
have our staple 5 running
Yeah.
plays, probably 5 or 6 passing plays. They'll win every week. And then there'd be window dressing around all of them. And that would change every week. You'd show up on Wednesday. And there would be different formations, different things, different the way we had attack a team.
And I'm not saying the Cardinals aren't doing that.
Well, you just said no changes.
Well, no, but if they're doing that, it's very minimal because I can see what plays are coming from
Yeah.
my couch every
Yeah,
week. But,
I may
yeah.
have taken that out of context. That when I
No,
read it.
you were right. It just that was in the same context. It was the first part of the conversation was, what's going to happen in this offseason? And he goes, yeah, we're going to look at everything. We're going to change training staff. We're going to look at all of our coaching staff. Well, why wait till the offseason? Well, because the best thing for this team was to keep everything the same. What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. There's a coach who needs to go.
It gets worse.
Oh no! Come
gets worse.
on.
You wanna hear this?
Okay.
Jonathan Gannon on why he will still be the head coach
boy.
after this Sunday. Go ahead and play that one, guys.
Uh-oh.
Why, hey, Jonathan, why are you going to be head coach?
Yeah. I have confidence in myself, Bob.
That's his selling point to the fans, to the ownership. Why do you deserve to be head coach with your season this year? Well, because I have confidence in myself. That's why I deserve to be here.
Shit, that's the lamest freaking answer I've ever heard in my life.
It is.
Are you freaking kidding me?
I came to this conclusion driving home from the Falcons game. I don't remember if I said it. I know I said it to Dale on air, but I don't remember if I said it to you. I'm driving home, and what makes this season different? I've been a season ticket holder since '96. I've sat through a lot of bad seasons, a lot of them.
You have.
And I've never been this disenfranchised. And it's because of that attitude right there. He's not a likable human being. He's not somebody you can rally behind. He's not somebody that I'd invite to
Because he has
motivate.
confidence
I
in
would not
himself.
hire that guy for any motivational speak in my life.
Yeah.
Whereas I would have hired Buddy Ryan for that would have been an entertaining speech. Even the bad coaches, the one heartbeat guy that I'm forgetting, Dave McGinnis.
Dave McGinnis,
He
yeah.
would have been a great. There's always those attributes to follow him. I played. Remember the Cardinals do that thing on YouTube, at the beginning of the season when he was hired 23. and his first time meeting the team in the locker room. And I played that. I played that a week or so ago. Went back and got it. It's the most uninspiring opening speech. You watch Hard Knocks and Dan Campbell's up there. We're gonna kneecaps, and you make fun of him for that stuff. Jonathan Gannon's like, anybody ride the bus here? Get the fire in your belly. You guys ready to do this? We're gonna play hard. Are you guys on board with this?
You know, the sad thing about it is that McCollum's forced me to look at Gannon differently than I was before. I mean, I
have that effect on people.
Yeah, I now look at games and I watch for his.
Did you see him? Did you see him on
Yeah,
Sunday? They kept
I
going. Every time Daryl Johnson was like, he deserves another chance, they go to him on the sideline. This is him.
No. He'd had that little white piece of
He
paper
had the notepad
cover
this
his mouth
time.
because he's saying so many really important things in the walkie-talkie.
Yeah, he's literally he had a paper at one point, and he's just taking notes. And then he grabs his headset and adjusts it, and then he's taking notes again. And it's just it's like, what are you
But
doing?
McCollum
Stat
watches
Dude?
this guy like a hawk, doesn't he?
Oh, he does.
It's just I just because it stands out, Bruce. It's not like I'm purposely doing. I went to that Falcons game, and I'm not even paying attention to Jonathan Gannon, but I'm watching Raheem Morris on the Falcons sideline. I'm watching Kirk Cousins on the sideline. I'm watching B.J. Robinson getting pulled out of the game and going to the sideline, and the coach walking over and talking to him. I'm watching all that, and then I just happened to glance down at the Cardinal sideline, and Jonathan Gannon's got nobody around him, and he's just. It stands out.
Well, I will admit to you this, Steve. I will admit this that he has a personality more like Tom Landry, where
The old school way
Yeah,
of
he
doing it.
just doesn't show any emotion.
And that might have
doesn't-
worked back then.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
and Coop,
Doesn't work today.
if
Yeah,
you go
it-
12-4, you win a Super Bowl every 3 or 4 years, and all that.
But I'm more of a guy that likes the Pete Carroll type.
Yeah.
I mean, I see that he's going to fight for his players.
Do you
he's going
think
to cheer for his
Yeah,
players?
do you think Jonathan Gannon has a relationship with any of his players? Any of them?
It just doesn't look like
It doesn't
based,
seem like it,
based,
right?
based on his demeanor, his
He-
sideline demeanor.
He
But
gets done with practice. He gets in his car and he drives off, and the rest of the team goes and does what they do, and he just goes and does whatever.
Yeah.
He has no relationship with anybody. It feels like, right?
yeah,
that's what it feels like.
that's the perception.
Yeah.
I'll grant you that. That is a
Pete
perception.
Carroll
but-
is having dinner with he's having dinner with his guys and inviting them to Hawaii for his house there. And hey, Pete, by the way, I'm still waiting for that invite. For the Hawaii out. Well, here it gets better. Hey, Jonathan Gannon wants to. Hey, they asked him again. They did this. By the way, they did this 6 weeks ago. I looked up the date. They asked him, hey, what's your message to the fan base right now who's trying to renew their tickets, deciding what they're going to do? Jonathan Gannon here. His message to you, the fans.
I guess fans right now making decisions on whether they're going to renew their season tickets, decisions like that next season. What would your message to the fan base be for why they should continue supporting this
Yeah,
team?
just what I told Bo. How long ago was that? A month ago? Stick with us. Stick with us. The sun will rise in the valley.
Oh my God, Cardinals, take my money. This guy is on the right track. I'm gonna go run through this wall right now. For
Hold
this
on.
guy.
So since he said that 4 or 5 weeks
By the way,
ago,
they're 0-6.
how many games have they won since he said? Just like I told.
That's why I looked it up. They're 0-6.
Stick
They're
with
0-6
us.
since he said that. Oh my God, does that not make you want to just get up and go play? I'm ready to go play football. I'm gonna go try out for the Cardinals now and get killed because that guy motivates me.
Look, I'll be honest. I'll be honest to you guys out there. I really didn't have this big negative vibe about Gannon until
so
I started sitting next to this guy.
I'm so sorry.
But you know what? Listening to the clips, I have to support.
I'm not taking it out of context. Watch the
No.
10 to 15 minute press conference, and it's
yeah.
those answers. It's all we played. Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn had to walk back a lot of those comments yesterday. I don't know if you saw that, but Aaron Glenn, terrible season. Jets are actually in a worse situation than the Cardinals are. Yeah. And Aaron Glenn's like, this is awful. We suck out there. There's no effort. Coaching staff's terrible. He walked it back yesterday a little bit. But he's showing some fire, and he's out there calling out his players.
That's what you want to see as a fan. And that's what you want to see.
Right.
That's when you talk about renewing tickets off a bad season.
With a 40% increase, 40,
you-
50% price increase.
Yeah,
by the way.
you want to see a coach who cares.
Yeah.
You want to see one who's
Like,
emotional, who's invested as well.
You were around with Dave McGinnis. Everybody. I was even in the media then, and I love Dave McGinnis. I would have done anything for that guy.
I would have given him a lifetime contract if I were Bidwell.
Seriously,
I like
you
him that
could
much.
just root for the guy. It
Yeah.
just sucks that he was a terrible head coach
Yeah.
and couldn't make it happen. But when he got fired, we were all like, "Oh, such a shame,
Yeah.
just awful." But you were rooting for him, and you were just hoping to God he could turn it around, and he
Yeah.
just couldn't do it. And Jonathan Gannon, dare I say this? I don't care if he can turn it around. I just don't care. I'm not gonna. The sun does come up tomorrow, and hopefully you're not here
Yeah,
when
hey,
it comes up.
the sun will come up in Arizona, Coop.
Yeah. Well, he may have confidence in himself, but I don't have any confidence.
That's the other thing. I have confidence in my. You're the only one, Tiger. You're the only one that has confidence in yourself.
Yeah.
You want to do the last one here?
Okay.
Hey, Jonathan Gannon. Hey, what do you know? Do you know about your job? Do you know what's happening with you? First of all, pay attention to the body language here, you two. Jonathan Gannon on what he knows right now.
Your job status for like a month now, whatnot. Have you been told that you're safe for next year?
I'm not going to get into all that, Josh, but I feel good.
Coach, you said that the guys have a lot to play for this week.
Dude, is
Tell me,
that,
Coop.
is that really his? I mean, my God.
First of all, how big of a drink of water was that?
You know,
Uncomfortable drink of water was that? But that's his answer. And then what did he do? He stared directly into the camera.
Oh,
That's the Cardinals feed. He goes, "I feel good."
I mean, I have confidence in myself. I feel good.
yeah.
The
Stick
sun
with
will
us.
rise tomorrow.
What's
Stick with
missing?
us.
What's missing here, Bruce? What's missing in what he's saying? How are you going to improve this team? He doesn't talk about that. What are changes are possibly could come down the pipeline? Doesn't talk about that.
Well,
Doesn't talk about anything. It's just I have confidence in myself. He even said yesterday, "I feel like we have the right people on this staff." He actually said that yesterday.
Yeah.
I think we have the right people here.
Well,
I
again,
have confidence in the people I hire to do their job.
Again, it just solidifies my growing sentiment that this guy has to go.
Yeah. And I feel that's the thing. I put out on Twitter on I think it was Sunday. I said I kind of hope Bidwell keeps him. Only
Why?
Only because I have a sickness, Bruce. Only because I want to see Michael Bidwell get in front of the camera and justify keeping him. Because you can't talk about the record. You can't talk about how everybody's rooting for him and rallying behind him. You can't talk about how the players love him because there's no relationship there. That's the perception, right? And so name something that you can say on justifying him.
Well,
and I want to see Bidwell do that.
do remember this? About a month ago, there were 4 or 5 players. Calais Campbell, the tight end. There were a couple other guys
Darius Robinson was one of them.
who said that he's a good coach and he deserves another chance.
Yeah.
Now,
Oh,
we've seen that happen before too.
yeah.
And when you got players on a losing team that are comfortable being on a losing team, those are not the guys you listen to.
Show me now. We don't a lot of Jacoby Brissett talks and stuff, and they get people in locker room. Show me one angry player. Myles Garrett won a game with the Browns the other day, beat the Steelers, and they're having a terrible season, and he was pissed off. He was pissed off at the way that game went, and they won it because the Steelers were, going against him and trying to keep him from breaking the record. Show me one player that has shown one ounce. Earlier, I think it was like the 4th game they lost in the last seconds. I saw a player throw
by
his
the
helmet.
way, see, that's not a good example.
Well, no, but my point is,
He was mad because he
Yes.
didn't break the record. He didn't care about the
But
win.
is he mad? But is he mad?
Yeah, because
Tell me one Cardinals player that's mad. Tell me one. I saw one guy throw his helmet on that whatever it was, the 4th or 5th time they lost, with 1 second to go and lost the game. I saw somebody throw a helmet in that moment. Other than that, tell me one player that's angry on the Cardinals and mad about the situation that's expressed it. Give me one, guys. Oh wait, we'll be here all day because there isn't one. They're all fine with the way it's going.
Yeah. There has to look. I have to believe that Michael Bidwell
Right? You
will
have
make
to.
a change.
You have to.
Has anybody heard anything from him?
No.
I don't expect you would because
I-
I'm not as of 3 weeks ago, I was saying if he's made a decision, that's dereliction of duty. You wait till the season plays out. Because if they would have won 3 out of 4 games, you can justify bringing Gannon back at least. But the way they're playing, and the injuries just aren't an excuse anymore.
Yeah, they aren't. I mean, when there's other teams that are flourishing despite those injuries. One might even be the NFC West champions. But and I'm talking about the 49ers.
Yeah.
But look, when Black Monday comes around, that'll be Monday after the
Next month, this Monday coming up.
Monday. I expect and I certainly hope to hear Jonathan Gannon's name amongst the
If it
coaches'
goes long time, is it a quick firing, or if it goes a couple days, you're gonna?
Why would you wait? Why would you wait any? Look, if you don't know the answer to that question now,
you have to know.
I mean, I don't know why a Tuesday or Wednesday following Black Monday would make any difference. I mean, dadgum, come on, man.
I don't know
You want
what
to go
waiting-
back and look at that 2-0 start? That seemed like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
They've won-
I'll say this. They were 2-0, and I still remember this. They were playing the 49ers. They're up. They have a 1-point lead over the 49ers. Cardinals, if they get a first down, game's over.
Yep.
Kyler Murray finds Zay Jones. Zay has it on the way down to the ground. The defender rips it from him. 49ers take the ball. They kick a game-winning field goal. That started 5 consecutive games of heartbreaking last-second losses.
Yeah.
And there was none worse than the Tennessee Titans. I mean, I've just never seen a team hand them. I mean, look, I've seen the Amari DiMercado plays before. I mean, that would have made it 24-7 or something like that, or 27.
They wouldn't have come back.
Yeah,
if
yeah.
that didn't happen.
And so he fumbles it. But the play that kills me is they intercept the ball. The game is over.
And kicks it.
Then he fumbles it, and 2 other Cardinals had a chance to recover it. They booted into the end zone where the Titans recovered for a touchdown. Man, you can't make this stuff up.
But you know where, in my mind, in terms of the coaching staff, looking back at it, my opinion changed on them, was the only time we've seen emotion from anybody on the Cardinals, was when DiMercado fumbled that and Jonathan Gannon goes over and hits him.
Yeah.
And then gets fined for it and shows emotion.
Hey,
That's the only time we saw emotion this year from anybody.
Hey, I'm curious. Let's say that, because we just talked about earlier, the 49ers don't have anyone that drops the ball. Let's say Zay Jones holds onto that ball and the Cardinals beat the 49ers and they're 3-0. Do you think their season goes any differently than it is now?
I think it can change dramatically. I've told
You think
Steve
it does?
before. We didn't really believe in ourselves in '88 in Buffalo. We fought back from 2-14 to 5-11. Then they were like 6-10. And then we won 2 close games to start the season. And you could feel the confidence growing in the locker room. And it went from who's going to screw it up in the fourth quarter, because somebody's going to screw it up,
And that's what the Cardinals do.
to who's going to make the play that helps us win in the fourth
Good
quarter.
point.
I mean, Dale's got a point. I think the 4th and 5th last-second loss where you had a lead and you let them back into it and they kicked the field goal, I think that is what set them on this path of what they are now. But there were so many issues before that I think they would have 5 or 6 wins probably, but I've been talking about Penzing since last year, and it hasn't gotten better, right? And things to that effect. And I think they still wouldn't have performed at the level, but it wouldn't be as bad as it is now.
I was arguing with a buddy of mine yesterday who's saying that, he's all for Jacoby Brissett coming back. And I said, well, give me a reason why. He said, well, he's unlocked Michael Wilson. We wouldn't know what Michael Wilson was if Jacoby wasn't here, because Kyler wasn't throwing the ball. I said, dude, have you been watching these games? Or are you just talking ignorance? He said, what are you talking about? I said, Michael Wilson's emergence came when some guy named Marvin Harrison Jr. sat. And when Harrison came back, Wilson's numbers went down.
Yep.
Harrison goes back down, Wilson's numbers go back up. So I said it's incumbent upon the coaching staff.
They're telling him where to go.
Right. They had no choice but to go to him. But it's incumbent upon the coaching staff to include him in their game planning.
They even said that week. They said, oh, no, when they're both out there, we need to put the ball in the guy that's going to make the plays. Benzing was saying that in his press conference, and then they didn't look at Wilson at all. Marvin Harrison was out there.
Well, the other thing you can think of, though, too, is, again, you talk to the good quarterbacks. Defense can take, for the most part, a receiver away.
Sure.
And so what happened when Marvin Harrison came back? Do they still kick coverage away from Marvin Harrison now? And Harrison was the one that had single coverage, so the concept of the play says you got to go to him. Michael Wilson's getting double covered, but still, when you're a great receiver, you throw the ball to a guy.
But that guy's got to make catches.
Yeah,
Guy's got to make catches. So I don't know what the Cardinals do with Marvin Harrison. I still
you play out another year and then you let him go.
I still believe that he's a talented player. I just have to believe. It's a confidence issue. Something's in his head. Somebody got, and because
I disagree 100%.
I watched him too much at Ohio State, and granted, someone says, "Well, go back." They told me go back and look at his plays at Ohio State.
They moved him.
He did a
around.
lot of body catching.
yeah.
And as it said, and so that body catching is catching up to him in the NFL because defenders are closer to him than they were in college.
Therein lies the rub. Well, when I did an Ohio State game, and obviously you watch them on TV
Against Penn State, right?
He had guys that were not within 5 yards of him when he was catching the ball because he's going against Rutgers and Maryland and whoever else. You have very few uncontested catches, especially the routes that the Cardinals run. So you've got to be strong with your hands.
Yeah.
And the catching into your body. Those DBs, they're punching, they're prodding, they're doing whatever they can.
His one target on Sunday thrown? Defender broke on the ball better than Marv did. Defender made a play on the ball before Marv did. It's not that he doesn't have the talent and he can't catch. I don't think he wants to.
Well, why would he want to?
I think he walked into this. I think he walked into the NFL as I'm going to be a Hall of Famer like my dad. I don't have to work hard. I don't have to do anything, and I'm just going to be good.
But he worked all off. He put on 20
he got his
pounds
arms
also.
big. What did he work on? He lifted 20 pounders.
Hey, let me tell you something that I heard. It was on I think it was 98.7's website. I think Tyler Drake and some young lady.
Their podcast.
They were doing it. They did an interview, and they were doing it with Paris Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
This was leading up to the draft.
Yeah.
And
Paris played with him at Ohio State.
Right.
Let's
thank you for that. And Paris talked about how no one worked harder than Marvin Harrison. He said he was there before everyone. You saw the same thing.
Yeah, and I don't.
And so I bought it. I said, well, heck, why wouldn't you want this guy? I mean,
leading up to it, Neighbors. The reason why I wanted Neighbors,
I know,
is because he went to the combine.
Yeah.
And he ran a thing, and he ran two of them good. But on the third time, he dropped the ball. And everybody's like, all right, we're going home. And he was like, no, let's keep doing this till I get it right.
Yeah.
And that's commitment.
Yeah.
Marvin Harrison, remember he showed up, interviewed with the Cardinals, and then disappeared and nobody saw him again? Yeah. You know, I don't believe he works harder than anybody because you could fix a catching the body thing. He doesn't know the routes half the time. You can stop the way. I think he doesn't have the want to. This coaching staff isn't giving him inspiration to get out there and play. Whatever the situation is.
Man, no, he has to be driven. I mean, I'm not going to put that on the coach, but I will say this. You know, I look, audience, I do consider myself a draft savant. I get really deeply into it. I want you to know.
We're doing a draft show in April.
I have the Cardinals draft already completed right now. I'm working on free agency for the
Dale, mock draft coming.
But I will say, I will say this, and I it's rare. I do get some wrong. My biggest miss or whiff with the Cardinals was Robert Condici. Now, here we are with Marvin Harrison, and he said he wanted Malik Neighbors. I even had a former ASU Prentice. I just go ahead and say it, Prentice Gill, former ASU wide receiver coach.
Yep.
He was telling me how he recruited every one of those players. He said, without question, Malik Neighbors is the guy. Because I did an interview with him leading up to the draft. I did it for Coops Chronicles. And he just like you, he was all about Malik Neighbors.
You can tell when a guy wants to play football, and you can tell when a guy doesn't.
And clearly, I'm one of those that whiffed on Marvin Harrison Jr. as well. So
I also wasn't buying into he's the savior of the end of the world. I'm also, and Dale knows this, I'm also very skeptical of second generation anything, whether it be second generation wealth, second generation kid. Generally doesn't work out the same most of the time.
Well, the thing is, again, we're talking about him like he's past tense.
He is. He's done. Dan.
Yeah,
He's done.
well, he still has a chance to because
He can turn it around. His
uh,
coaching staff ain't going to turn it around. With him.
I do believe when Paris Johnson talked about his work ethic, I do believe that, and we know his pedigree. I just have to believe that the light bulb will come off,
Right.
Because this is a guy that when I watched him play at Ohio State with some guy named Jackson Smith in Jigba, some guy named
Who's a better pro than he
Emeka
is?
Ibuka.
Who's a better pro than he is?
And I'm telling you, you were flipping a coin saying, my goodness, who'd you rather draft? I mean, because they were all solid.
Yeah.
And but Dale, to your point now, you said that, and you're this guy echoed what you said. He's a body catcher in college, and he caught it with no defenders on him.
Right.
So you did games, and you're confirming
Well, you
that.
talk about his body language that I don't like either. That ball was knocked down by the Cincinnati Bengals guy, and he just was like, "Okay, back to the huddle," and it's like, what?
You don't see much emotion from him. I know Michael Irvin used to bother people with his first down and all that.
He's somewhere in the middle.
But we knew how hard he worked and how much it meant to him.
Yeah.
And that fire, you have to have some emotion to play this game.
Well, the other thing is when I hear a kid, he shows up. He's the first one in the locker room and the last one to leave. I want to hear what he's doing when he's there early. Because I used to know somebody that was an hour early for work all the time, and he left an hour after work every time. You know what he was doing in that time frame? Playing video games, not going home to his wife, not doing what he needed to do to get ready to go to work and stuff to that effect.
All right. Well, we're gonna end the year.
No, we're gonna do positive here.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, we got before football. We got positive on football.
Oh, okay.
Are you going to Larry's Fitzgerald's induction ceremony? He inviting you or what? To the Hall of Fame?
No, he has not.
I said, will he? Well, he's not going to do it before but he's officially a finalist. I kid with you because you know him. You're friends with him. And things,
Look. I talk to his dad quite frequently, and I'm going to ask Mr. Fitz, and that's what I call him, Mr. Fitz. I'm going to ask him: has Larry anointed you as the guy that's going to induct him?
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask him that. I haven't asked him. I meant
Who
to ask him
else
that.
would it be,
I meant to
though?
ask him that in our last conversation, but we got talking so much it slipped my mind. I hung
How
up. I
about
said, gosh darn it.
how about any one of the 15 quarterbacks that threw
That's
him
what
a
I was
touchdown
going
pass?
to Is it going to be Max Hall? the guy that ran for Tempe?
John Navarre,
Skelton?
Max-
John Skelton? That's my point. Who else would it be?
Well, yeah.
Maybe a coach from Pitt or something, but not for the NFL.
Yeah.
That's my point. Is I was thinking about that the other day. I'm glad it's funny you bring that up. I was like, who would indict? He had nobody that maybe Carson Palmer.
Yeah, he only
If you want to
played,
go player,
3 years with
yeah,
them out of
but
the 15?
they went to a Super Bowl and he had really good years while he was here.
No, not with Carson Palmer.
Kurt Warner.
With Kurt Warner.
Oh, Kurt Warner. I'm sorry. Yeah, Kurt Warner, not Carson Palmer.
yeah.
But he had some good years with Carson Palmer
He did.
too. But yeah, no, I was thinking about that too. But do you have your journalist dad do it who doesn't like the Cardinals? I might get some fireworks.
Hey,
and he's not afraid to speak his mind
Hey,
either,
let me
right?
tell you something, man. I could tell you about some verbal sparring that was taking place between Mr. Fitz and Mark Dalton, their Cardinals PR director at the time.
You know, the
still
last
there.
time I saw Mr. Fitzgerald, I was doing a Minnesota Gopher game. And I was at the stadium, I got on the elevator, and he was on there. And what did he call me?
Did he?
I
was he
didn't
covering it?
recognize. I mean, there were probably 12 people on the elevator. I just got on, and he was standing right next to me, and he looks up at me, and he goes up, "What's up?" I think he just said, "What's up, cowboy?" And I know he didn't like me when I was doing your show a whole lot. At least you told me so. He seemed to warm up a little bit over the years.
Yeah, he's very opinionated guy. for a
He is.
journalist.
He doesn't bite his tongue.
No, he does not.
He does not bite, and that's why I like him. When I always had him on my shows,
But
'cause
that's
he-
what makes him good as a journalist.
Yeah,
also,
and
you know?
and you know, I can tell you there are times when Junior was upset at Pops for things that he said. You know.
Yeah.
Well, we already
you know,
said he should be traded. He doesn't belong to play here, and
Yeah,
you know that
but-
can't be.
but-
That puts your kid in a bad
Yeah,
situation.
Yeah, and you know, Larry's the consummate professional. I mean, he doesn't want to rock the boat at all. He's a company guy, and you know that made for some
Uncomfortableness.
Yes, uncomfortable is the word. Yeah.
All right, we're going to end up on a positive note. My Phoenix Suns, 19-13,
How about
3-game win streak.
4-game win streak. They're 3-0 on this road trip.
Yes. The
Oh,
road trip
4-game.
goes
Yeah, that's right.
Don't
Excuse
short me,
me,
Jill. Don't
excuse
short
me.
me.
19 wins. So I'm 13 wins away from winning my over bet.
Yes.
Did you actually place a bet on that?
Yeah,
Dang, you know what?
yeah.
I was telling my buddy I wanted to place a bet on the over on
Yeah.
that, but I didn't get around to it. You know that they changed the down at the Phoenix Suns arena. It was like FanDuel. You can just
Yeah, they changed it
walk.
different
You can't even walk in anymore.
Oh, really?
They're getting rid of it.
No. You have to be
Oh,
like.
maybe that's what they're doing. Oh, that's right. They changed it the standard to get in there.
Yeah. They did. And
They
so
don't want the riffraff in there like you and me, Coop.
yeah.
I got my
they-
$5 bet.
yeah. So people, you have to have like, let's call it a gold card
Yeah,
or something.
yeah.
You know, they
Really?
they kind of changed that. Yeah, because they want you to. I guess there was just too many, like my buddy, that would just walk in and
Watch the games on
watch the
TV.
games, and he wouldn't really.
Gamble or bet.
Should've-
spend it.
they should do like- they should do like the-
He'd make the bets from his phone.
Oh,
he can
yeah.
make the bets on his phone.
Right.
But he didn't really engage in the I guess the refreshments or all
Right.
that kind of stuff.
That's what
the
they should do,
food.
like the Circa with that big. They have that stadium style seating. You pay like $100 and something to reserve the spot, but then you get free food and drinks up to that point. You know, so they make you. So you're basically buying your food and your drink ahead of time. So you can sit there all day and watch it. It's just you pay for for stuff up in it. That's what they should do. But we talked a few weeks ago and we were kind of guessing on what the Suns record. I said they would be at around 500. I said 2 or 3 games above, 2 or 3 games behind with that hard schedule they had. Obviously, they have one more game left this year. It's against the Cavaliers now coming up here, but obviously they're going to. Let's just say they lose that game here, right? They're going to be 5 games above 500 if they win it. Obviously, they'll be 7 games above 500. This is pretty amazing story here for this team that nobody had hopes for this year, and coming off of what we've been through the last 3 years.
Yeah, 33 games in the start of the season up to the new year of 2026. I don't think many people would have felt that the Suns would be potentially a 21 team or even close to
I
it.
thought we'd be at 30 in like March, going, "Oh, Dale, are we going to get it? We're going to be close to get it." You know.
Yeah.
But that was-
And
we're gonna have
this
it by
without
February.
Grayson Allen.
Yeah.
And,
Well, with
Jalen
Jalen Green, for the
Jalen
most
Green,
part, yeah.
you know, and they just keep on plugging away.
Here's the other, did you notice who was there when Gillespie was being interviewed? I think it was last night against
Jalen
the Wizards?
Green.
Yeah, Jalen Green. He's
he
traveling
dropped
with the team.
He dropped an F-bomb.
yeah,
on
and they're like, it's a family show. And he goes, I don't give an F.
But no, he said something like they can't F with you,
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
to
Yeah.
Gillespie, and then they say, yeah, it's a family
Yeah.
show. But here's the deal: are you noticing that this team
point.
enjoys each other?
It's looking a lot like that NBA championship run.
Dude, I'm telling you, for a guy like Jalen Green to be that invested in this team, which is a new team for him, he's only played 1 game and 1/4 of a second game.
And he's in a game in Washington.
Yeah.
He's played 5 quarters total in this season, and he is so invested. in
Cheering
this
on
That's-
Gillespie.
Yeah.
and-
That's what tells me about the chemistry and that stuff.
team.
is-
So here's the deal. I'm going to ask you both this question. I'm such a huge Gillespie fan that he looks like he's a fourth quarter clutch guy. He makes big baskets in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
So much so that if Jalen Green comes back, how do you take him off the floor in the fourth quarter of games? Because if you know you're going to throw out Booker and Brooks, they're out there. Gillespie's out there right now, along with Mark Williams, and then that fifth guy is rotated. It could be like Royce O'Neal.
Well,
or it could
O'Neal's
be-
dominating right now,
It
too,
could be
everybody, yeah.
Grayson Allen. You know, it's kind of changed. But Gillespie's always been out there. Jalen Green comes back. what happens in that fourth quarter? Crunch time. What happens?
Well, I tell you what, it's could be a good problem to have when you say
That's how
we
I'm
have
gonna
too
answer it.
many guys to put in versus how are we going to fill out this roster after Booker? You know?
Well, let me put it to you like
That's how I
this:
look at it.
Jalen Green, who is so invested in his team now, I think he would have a problem if he's not on that floor in crunch time.
Well, I think Booker would too.
Well, yeah. Booker and Brooks are a given. They're going to be out there.
Well,
but I think they'd have I think they'd have an issue if Gillespie's not out there.
Yeah.
I mean, he alleviates some pressure off those two
okay.
guys.
So you're going to go with four smalls and one big to finish out the game.
To finish out the game, it depends who you're playing. Hey, too bad you're not playing Denver here in the next 4 weeks. The Joker, by the way,
Is he out?
He's out for 4 weeks.
Ooh,
It's not.
that was a
it's not a
serious
season
knee
ender.
Was it
but
an
it's-
MCL sprain or something?
It just says a suffer a left knee hyperextension.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Last
Yeah.
night. I was like,
well, we do need to get them up on the schedule.
Yeah,
then.
that's good. Can we
Well, last
push
time
it
a
there?
center had a major knee injury and they went on to win the championship against the Suns. Remember when Giannis came down and knee went backwards and they were like,
Yeah,
oh,
but he
he's out
still
for a
played.
while. Yeah, and then he came out. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So that's what happens to the Suns when they do it. No, this is an interesting thing. And I've been watching a lot of the Lakers. I grew up a Lakers fan, by the way, if you didn't know that. And everything. And I've been watching a lot of Lakers this year because they're fun to watch, some of their awesome. But then LeBron came back to them, and they're just a mess to the point where now JJ Redick is calling LeBron out. You know, we've had issues. We've had.
What
you
happened
haven't been
there?
seeing this?
No.
Yeah, he goes. He's not saying his name, but he's saying things like.
Oh
you know,
no, he did say.
no, he did say
yes.
yesterday. He said his name, but he's been saying things like, "Well, our chemistry's been off, and guys aren't practicing very hard. Guys aren't doing their job on the court."
The
He's
ball
talking
flow.
specifically about LeBron since he's been back and everything like that. You know, so you can get your rotations and your confidence and et cetera really ruined by bringing somebody back and putting him in wrong.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you this: I have more faith in Jonathan Ott to figure it out than I do JJ Redick.
Yeah, well, let's put it to you like this: when LeBron plays, Austin Reeves doesn't have that same
No.
fluidity or that
This is-
same shot.
You're going to my point. If Gillespie's the guy that suffers when Jalen Green comes back, it's like when LeBron's not out there, Reeves looks like an all-star.
Yeah. Well,
Are we gonna run into that? That's what you have to figure
yeah,
out.
and that's my dilemma because I'm like, man, how do you take Gillespie off the court in crunch
You
Well,
time?
could-
hold
could
on.
ruin
Well,
this.
you guys are assuming one thing:
Somebody's going to be healthy.
that everybody stays healthy through that.
Well, let me tell you. Look, I gotta believe Jalen Green will come back healthy because his 3 previous seasons he had never missed a game.
Never.
It was 3 or 4
He
games.
missed like
Never
3 or
missed a
4
game.
games. Yeah.
He never missed a game.
But isn't his extra 2 weeks now after doesn't that tell you he had a setback? They're not saying it, but it was 4 to 6 week reevaluation. They waited till 6 weeks to reevaluate him and said he's out for another 2 to 3.
Yeah, it's
Doesn't that
possible.
tell you there's a problem?
It could. Yeah. You know, look. I've been told this, and like I said, I don't know because I've never had a hamstring injury. But they say that when you're in practice and stuff like that, and you're going up and down, you look good, you feel good, but you don't replicate that game day speed.
That's why
in
I
practice.
think
And
the
so,
number is 33% re-injure themselves.
Yeah, so
in those
I
types of
think
injuries.
the Suns
NBA.
probably said this to your point. Maybe said let's go full bore here. Let's play game. And when he did, he maybe suffered.
But here's the thing, Coop. As a guy, a muscular guy who did have many pulled muscles in his career, you say practice at full speed. Let's go at game speed. You don't go at game speed. You can't go at game speed until you're in front of people and the lights are on. And that's when, so you want to be with a guy like him. You waited this long. Why not wait 2 more weeks to make sure that you don't re-aggravate?
Well, the way
onto
you're
that?
playing too, don't you be like, all right, man, let's make sure you're healed before you come
but at
back.
some point you have to develop that chemistry.
That's the problem.
With,
you don't want to
you
go
know,
too late.
yeah.
If you're looking at March, you're like, we're gonna have a chemistry issue moving forward. But you still got some time here. It's only December 3rd.
Yeah,
they got Cleveland tomorrow afternoon, 1:30
Yeah,
p.m.
yeah. I said it on this show before because when you have these two-way guys and stuff like that, they can only play with you for 50 games.
Yeah.
And
That decision.
And I see 2 roster spots.
They're going to be trading some guys,
And
right?
Nick Richards, to me, it's been clear to me that he's fallen
He's
out.
out, man.
And
He's
so they would replace him with Malawak as a third center there. And Nigel Hayes Davis. He's the other guy that has to go.
I think Livers is probably on the outside looking into.
Yeah,
if
but
they need a
I tell you what,
spot.
I like
But-
this. I like this Jamari Bouye,
Yeah,
man.
but
I'm
Livers
telling
Livers
you.
can go down to the G League. You don't have to unload him. Because he's on both rosters.
Yeah.
So he can go down to the G League.
But
that'd be
but he
another
wouldn't
spot.
be on your. What I'm saying is he
No, yeah,
wouldn't be on
be
your.
on-
Yeah.
But I'm saying you wouldn't have to get rid of him. But
Right.
you'll handle that, right? If you're getting Jalen Green back and you need to make some of the moves with some of the guys, like you said, playing right now as well. So Cleveland tomorrow, 1:30 p.m., last game for 2025 for them. This is a big game. You can't tell me the players don't know that Jordan Knott's going back to
right.
Cleveland. You can't tell me the players don't know that Cleveland's not been as good this year with Jordan Knott on that sideline. Suns have always outperforming. This could be a fun game to watch just from that perspective to see how the Suns come out. Rested, of course, played last night and everything. Day game as well to stand up for their coach because these guys love playing for him.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that game. I'm in a quandary right now. I said, gosh darn it, I'm gonna have to get my 2 screens going.
Yeah,
'Cause
I'll be at the
I got
ASU game.
got ASU at noon, and Suns
So
at 1:30.
Duke's playing something like 93% of their starters. ASU's got 20 kids out. This is going to be a bloodbath tomorrow. And it might rain on us while we're there, according to
Go
the
Blue Devils.
49% chance of rain, like later in the day. I hope they both just have fun. I want to go because we're going for vacation reasons. We're doing some other stuff there, but Cam Dreyer, we better see him out there a little bit. Jeff Sims deserves to play this game the way he played this year, but Cam Dreyer, there better have some plays for him.
Yeah.
Get these young kids out there, young receivers, like you said, the tight ends out there, stuff to that
Hey,
effect.
can we
running
just give Jeff Sims a half and let Dyer play the second half?
How about a quarter?
backs. I don't.
I'm okay with that too.
I'm not opposed to that at all from that side of it.
I'm doing my rain dance. I hope it pours in El Paso. I hope Steve's miserable.
Dale would think that. There's no place to hide there either.
Happy New
that
Year,
stadium.
Steve.
Yeah, I'll be texting you, Dale, the whole time.
No, you
blowing
won't
up
have your phone out.
Yeah, that's right, because of the rain. I'll be in my poncho. What are you doing for Christmas, New Year's, Bruce?
Well, I know I gotta after I watch a few of those games, I gotta go hit the wife
Oh,
on
that's
her
right. the
annual party. And
Forgot about the party.
Yeah.
Is
Well, I'll be
it
thinking
is
about
it a
you.
drive-to party or is it
Yeah.
a walk party?
It's a drive to.
Okay. I didn't know if it was a neighborhood or.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
it's a drive to.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be thinking about you guys while we're enjoying my guy who I just forgot his
Frank
name.
Caliendo?
Frank Caliendo.
Yeah, but you'll be home by 9.
Yeah.
What show are you going to? The 6th one?
6 o'clock.
Yeah, you'll be home by 9:30.
Grilling some American Wagyu
Dale's
steaks.
probably worked his way backstage with them.
Dale's probably already has a gallon of chocolate milk in his in the refrigerator, so he can get really silly that night.
All right. Happy New Year to you guys.
Yeah, definitely. You guys too at home. Next week we go back to our regular schedule off until Monday here, folks. Be safe this weekend. Obviously, take care of yourselves. Have some fun, and we'll see you on Monday. Back to regular schedule. Bruce will be back on Tuesday as well. Woo,
Make
playoff
good
football.
decisions. Make good decisions.
Absolutely.
Dale tells me that every day. Come on back, folks. See you Monday.